What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Top 5 Live, episode 67. Tonight's list is going to be top 5 struggle meals. And for those who are not initiated because you are highbrow, make a good amount of money, or have always made a good amount of money, or your parents have always made a good amount of money, you may not know what a struggle meal is. So I will give a definition for what a struggle meal is after you're back again with Big Bro Javon Stokes up at the top left, and my bro Danny J. Quick, the man, the myth, the legend from TikTok, and other such Ace Blade surfaces down at the
Damn,
bottom.
listen to that intro. I got
Yeah,
you.
know what I mean?
Saw the I ain't get none of that energy.
What?
I'm just messing with you, man.
But yeah, so we're back for another episode. Struggle meals, and struggle meals would be classified as when you are down to your last money's tighter than tight. Like you ain't got, as the old folks say, the pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. When you in them type of dire straits, what meal costs you little but hits the spot every daggone time? You know what I'm saying? You might not be dreaming about eating these meals all the time, but it does hold you down in those spots. So that's our list this week. And I've had my share of struggle meals in my life, and I'm proud of it because it builds character. You know what I'm saying? So we'll do that. We're gonna do the list first tonight because Danny J. Quick has somewhere to go. But it's also we're trying to switch up the format, see if it doesn't flow better for you guys, and you guys can give us feedback on that and what y'all think works. I want to make sure that I point out I got Big Bros the shipment of Wally McNair's Saturday morning cartoons. The first season order, you know what I'm saying? I look, I was super hyped to get this joint in the mail, bro. Dang, Colin, how you started in this early, man?
That's tradition, man. That means we're gonna have a good show.
It is. It's literally not even a show if he doesn't say that, actually. But yeah, so we're gonna start in with the list tonight, and then Danny and Javon both had subjects that I know they wanted to get into at least for a little bit. Javon, what was yours on?
Was it the photo about the guy talking about snapping, like when people snap on each other, how that might be bad for your mental health? I don't know. Let me find it. I'll find it while we talking.
All right, and then Danny sent a video for his. What was yours, Danny?
You sent a video?
I thought he sent a video.
I sent I don't remember what I sent. it was like 4 hours ago.
You said you wanted to talk. You said you wanted to talk about all of our childhood.
Oh yeah, celebrity deaths, man. It's
dying, man.
Been a crazy month.
Yeah, he wanted to talk about that, and then there was also something else. Javon had brought up a YouTube video. Well, I don't know if we have to talk about it or not, but what's
YouTube video?
The YouTube video or the podcast where the guy was saying, a writer that's a fan is a red flag.
Oh yeah. I mean, we could talk about that if y'all want. We can talk about that.
I'm just saying. But yeah, before we get into those, we're gonna do the list first tonight. See if y'all like that flow better, and also it gives Danny a chance to get up in here.
It's not. I mean, he's scheduling stuff for our show. Like that's kind of racist. But.
I mean, I don't try anymore, man. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro. It's money to be made out here. I'm trying to be a good businessman, and when the money come, I gotta be there for it.
All right, it's okay. You being racist? That's all right.
It's all good, bro. We forgive you racism.
Hey, I'm trying to give y'all a good solid 45 minutes though. We're gonna see.
Yeah. You peace out.
You're supposed to do the show at the shop, so that saves you time.
Don't ask questions, man.
The shop is closed on Tuesdays though. That's the problem.
You don't have keys?
Correct, Kyron.
Yeah, I got keys, but
go ahead. Since you gotta go first, go on and do your struggle.
No, bro. I ain't going first.
Why?
I'm not going first.
You the one that's
you the one dipping?
When's the last time you went first?
Last time when we had Tyler on.
I don't think neither of us heard.
I don't believe that.
I'm gonna go first.
I'll go first. It's cool. All right. So I will lead us off. Dang, bro, what is wrong? Don't tell me I gotta get another keyboard. For some reason my cap lock is effing up. Anyway,
you're not supposed to be typing and talking anyway. You're supposed to be
right.
telling your list and
right.
typing.
Maybe I can do the other shift.
You banned from that.
Bam. All right, bet. So, all right, my number 5 is number 5, man. Not fond memories here, but Spam with saltine crackers. You can't eat Spam by itself. Something has to go with it. And I was taught on fishing trips with my grandfather, Spam and saltines go great together. I remember the first time I tried Spam and I was not pleased, but it got the job done. And it's a pretty good snack. So I'm gonna my number 5 is Spam and saltines.
Never ate Spam.
Oh wow. All right. So my number 4, fried bologna sandwich. You kidding me? That you could eat that in good times and it's still banging. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be good times and fried bologna. And God knows if you got enough money to go get some cheese, you honestly don't need bread. You could just eat it open, just fry the bologna and put some cheese on top of it. But if you do have bread, especially butter bread, you could really set that joint off. So fried.
Nah, if you got butter bread, it ain't struggle no more. If you got butter bread, you living in luxury.
Butter bread is actually not butter bread is actually not that expensive though.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying? Like
he said
it's not like bread.
He said that's like Grey Poupon, I guess.
To a degree.
That's luxury right there.
Go ahead. What's number 3, man?
Number 3, beanies and weenies. I don't care whether you got a name brand or you making your own. You can just get some. My favorite beanies and weenies won't the Van Camps. You know what I'm saying? Can joint. My favorite beanies and weenies is a joint I made myself with some ballpark Franks. You know what I'm saying? All I need is some ballpark Franks or the Red Hots and a can of Bush's baked beans. Lord Jesus, look again, inexpensive and awesome. You know what I'm saying? But all you gotta do is put your little hot dog chunks in there, and put you in some good beans, and you good to go.
Kyron, why you acting like you care about basketball now, man?
Because the Kings are doing things.
Don't act like you care about basketball now.
Number 2, and this can be eaten as the ultimate. You could say the ultimate struggle meal, but it's debatable. But it could be eaten in good times and in bad. Oodles and noodles. Oodles and noodles, Top Ramen, whatever you want to call them, Maruchan. I don't care what brand it is. We all know noodles are the top. Bro, I will never forget.
It's all oodles and noodles. It don't even matter what brand it is. They all oodles and noodles.
It does not make a difference. It don't matter that there's antifreeze.
Can I say something?
Noodles? Yeah, sure.
I've never had ramen noodles my entire life.
Oh, you balling? You always been balling.
I don't like it. I was like, nah, man.
You ain't
that's
never
like a brick.
It
looked the first time I saw it, it looked like a brick of styrofoam. I'm like, I'm not eating that.
If you ain't never ate oodles and noodles,
yeah, that's
you
crazy.
You have never.
You ain't really ever.
I'm already a picky eater, and I ain't never.
You ain't really
like styrofoam.
You ain't really.
Go ahead. You finish mine. I'm gonna go next.
We need some of that Connecticut money. We need some of that Connecticut money, bro.
Oodles and noodles. There's so many different variations that could make that joint.
I had some oodles and noodles yesterday.
You ain't struggling.
They were good.
You ain't struggling, Danny. You ain't
and they were good.
No, I am struggling. I was struggling. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Go ahead. What's number one?
Number one, the all-time greatest, might be the greatest sandwich of all time. Peanut butter and jelly. Are you kidding me? I was gonna put milk on there, but if you got milk, that's a lot.
All his are too highfalutin. You talk about me.
PB&J is not
all
highfalutin.
his is highfalutin.
No, PB&J is not
highfalutin.
Peanut butter is expensive, but peanut butter lasts a long time, and you always got peanut butter in your closet.
You buy peanut butter once for the year.
Yes, you can go get a
for the whole year.
You can get a big thing of peanut butter for $4, right? Get you some jelly, and then all you doing is rotating out bread, jelly
ain't no luxury. Jelly ain't no freaking luxury. Jelly is cheap as hell.
And it lasts you for multiple meals. That's why it's the ultimate.
I want to go.
That's my top 5.
I'm gonna go. That's a good top 5. All right. So my number 5 is your number 1. Peanut butter and jelly. Like you said, peanut butter, you could buy that one time, and that joint will last you legit for like a year. Same with jelly. Jelly might be a little more pricey because you go through it more, but still. Number 4, and I'm not even joking with you, bread and butter. But you ain't got nothing else to eat. And you just be like, let me just get some bread. Let me get some butter. I'm put on this bread. And I'm
talking about toast?
I'm talking about
that's literally
bread.
Toast, though.
No, I'm just talking about bread. Ask
me
what I eat.
Hey, I ain't even got heat. He said I ain't even got heat on mine.
If you ain't got a toaster and you don't feel like putting it in the oven, that's where I was. Okay, we didn't have a toaster. We didn't have a toaster. We had an oven. I didn't feel like putting in the oven to wait for it to toast. So I just bread and butter. Call it a day.
Bro, but you said you had the audacity to have never eaten noodles in your life.
I just said I didn't eat. I never said I ain't eat noodles. I said I don't eat ramen noodles.
This dude.
That's what I said.
Bread. This dude put butter on bread and said, "Hey, we gotta eat."
That's what I said. Now we gotta eat. Gotta eat. Number three.
That's more than the short.
I don't like this meal, but I've had it because if you ain't have no other choice, I don't really do grilled cheese. I don't know why. I don't really like the texture of it, but
not like grilled
cheese? I don't know what it is about it, but it's just not my thing. But I've eaten it when you ain't have no choice. I never said I wasn't. I never said I wasn't. I don't know why. It just doesn't.
And
I didn't say, okay, understand. I said I don't like ramen noodles.
That's still racist, though. It's racist every time you say it.
Number two is, you know those little egg McMuffins that come in a bag, like they come in a bag.
Like a muffin of any sort is not a struggle meal, sir.
No, not when you get the $1 ones.
No,
you get that $1 ones. They're like you put them in the toaster, and you toast them up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
but you get like the dollar ones, and then you put a little like pizza sauce, not pizza sauce, but just like spaghetti sauce on it and some government cheese, and make yourselves little bitty pizzas like that. Hey, I've had government cheese in my life. I'm just saying, like that's what I had. So little muffin pizzas with government cheese. So
yeah, Kenji, that's what it sounds like to me. Them little, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know the brand.
Yeah, them joints is cheap.
It's like it's in a clear bag with like an orange.
Yes, with like a box. Like a box.
That is not nutritionally sound.
Nobody said nothing about nutrition. And then this one, I have had this, and I'm okay with stating this. If you ain't had a syrup sandwich, you ain't struggled. I've had a syrup sandwich. All right. I've had syrup sandwich.
You could eat a syrup sandwich over noodles?
Why y'all keep saying noodles? I eat noodles, y'all. I don't like ramen noodles. Y'all don't listen.
Same thing.
Listening is not it's not the same. It's not the same thing at all.
Hey, ramen noodles. One pack will last you a good 6 hours.
Ramen noodles is going to kill some of y'all.
I still remember going to the grocery store when them joints
would be on sale
for 25 cents a pack.
You
talking about life?
That joint look like plastic.
They're 12 cents a pack right now.
Good for them. That joint's like straight plastic.
I have
syrup sandwich equals honey on the bed. You know, hey, syrup sandwich.
Hey, put it in the chat so I can copy and paste.
All right. Hey,
I got 4 children, so I gotta keep ramen noodles on deck.
Got to, bro. Got to, because there's so many different ways that you can ghettoify them.
I don't even think that my daughters have ever had ramen noodles. That's a good question,
bro. You got noodles. You got noodles, and you can
Listen. We didn't come up, man. We didn't come up. We don't have to keep eating the same struggles. Listen, I ain't talking to you. You got a store. This man got a store. You better go talk to a client today, right?
That's true.
Mm-hmm. All right, don't talk to me about struggle.
He do got a whole.
Don't talk to me about struggle, sir.
I'm at the end.
You got a whole store.
My son's birthday is today too, by the way.
What?
DJ's birthday.
Hey,
DJ's birthday today.
DJ.
We got him. We got him. God of War Ragnarok. He
don't care about y'all right now.
He don't care about nothing. He
don't care about nothing. He ain't got a family for the next 8 hours.
He in there killing some people. I saw him fight Thor. But
how old is he today?
12.
Oh man,
big man. All right,
hey, happy birthday. All right, man. Go ahead.
Nah, we still got the PS4. I ain't in the lap of luxury like Javon up here.
Whatever, man. He bought that PS4 too. He just lying about it.
No.
Well, you think you think he playing on it? What do you think he playing the game on?
He got the PS4. He in there chilling. You know?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
There chilling.
Bought this man. Right. How much that video game cost?
It was expensive. Like I told him if he didn't get his grades up. I told him if he didn't get his grades up, he wasn't getting it. So. But anyway, all right. So my top five struggle meals. My list might be a little highfalutin in areas now. Listening to
we
bread
know
and
you
butter.
got money.
Listening to bread and butter.
Long money.
Hey, listen, man.
But all right. My number 5 is actually oodles and noodles, ramen noodles.
That's great.
Ramen noodles. Like I said, I got a bag in there. I got a 6-pack in there right now at all times.
Poisoning your children.
Kids ever get hungry? Hey,
feeding them plastic.
My baby girl
feeding them styrofoam, man.
It didn't kill me. It didn't kill me. I ate it growing up. Like I said, I had when we was on our meeting.
Find out.
Morgan, when we was on our meeting with Mike and and Danny,
killing some.
That's what I was eating. That's what I was eating. You saw me in the corner like this. That's exactly what I was eating.
Not a thing wrong.
Number 4, good old beanie weenies.
Yes, sir.
You can, like Morgan said, you can either get the pre-made joints or you can get some.
It's highfalutin meals, man. Beans are
just cut up some hot dogs in them joints. Cut up some hot dogs in them joints.
Hot dogs are expensive, y'all. What y'all talking about?
It depends.
Hot dogs are not expensive, sir.
If you catch ballpark, we used to catch ballpark franks on sale, bro. My grandma waited till the joints got on sale, and then she buy like 10 packs, put them joints in the deep freezer.
Joints. The Food Line joints right now are $128.
Do we have a Food Line up here? I thought we had
$128 right now, sir.
I thought we had a Food Line up here. I don't even remember.
You got something that got
we got Stop and Shop. I was about to say good hot dogs. You got
good hot. You're right. You're right. Good hot
stuff that's not meat.
But the ones from Beanie Weenies,
the ones y'all buying ain't meat. I don't know what it is.
Or pig hooves. All right.
Number
belts. 3 is worse though. Number 3 is worse than the cheap hot dogs. It's similar to the one Morgan said, but mine's is Vienna sausages and crackers. So you get the little, that
was almost on mine.
Joints that you open up, they got the 6 Vienna sausage in there.
Yeah,
grab one, some crackers.
I far rather get this. I between the two, I think I prefer Spam.
Spam, I can't. Spam is too salty. Like Spam is. Spam is ridiculous salty. Like
I don't do
you can't
Spam.
Never portion it right. Like you can't never cut it thin enough or thick enough for it to taste right.
That junk look like
I can't eat Spam.
I don't know how y'all eat Spam.
I've had it, but I can't eat Spam. I can't even can't do it.
Never in my life look like
this is the one. This is the one on my list that might be highfalutin. Now that I think about it, but
Lord.
It is indeed my number 2. Sloppy Joes. Dang on. Throw some sloppy, just some. It ain't nothing but meat.
It's very cheap, actually. It is cheap.
Depends on what type of meat you get.
But they have
7%.
They got kits for Sloppy Joes, bro. That crap is like
I know, but you still got to get the meat though.
That crap is like 92% fat. Like it's not even meat in there. It's like when you go get chili Bro, it's like when you go get like chili that you did not make from the grocery store. That's definitely not actual meat. I don't know what it is, but it's not meat.
I don't know. Listen. I've struggled. Listen. We've had struggles, but one thing my mother never struggled over was buying meat. She was like, "Listen, we'll pay for meat."
Listen,
bro, that meat, the ones that come into like the cylinder tube. You just
that's not meat, Danny. I don't know what you was eating, man. That's not meat.
It's not. But I've had it multiple times. You just cut off the end and squeeze it out the pouch and then fry it.
See, but if Sloppy Joe's counts, then that makes me feel like Steakums count. And I feel like Steakums could be
super cheap though.
Not really.
Steakums was super cheap.
They were
individually. Like if you only eat for one person.
Y'all over here not eating meat.
My number one.
I'm worried about y'all health.
My number one is indeed the fried bologna sandwich. And I will take it one step further. If you get a fried bologna sandwich and get a fried bologna and a fried egg on top.
Yes, I read.
Bro.
Or it's just highfalutin. You could do one of the best sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches, a Red Hot, some eggs, and toast of any sort. It will change your life. I don't care.
Open a Red Hot.
Oh my God!
It is not. That is not sausage, but
you
cut it.
My God! Yeah, I don't know what animal it came from, but it's not. I don't care. It doesn't make a difference. It's delicious. It is delicioso.
Hilarious. Yep. They still got the red ring on the bologna.
Oh yeah. Yes, the thick red ring too. No, you don't want that.
This is where I will say this must be that's definitely a Southern thing because I gotta find out. I gotta find what the northern version of that is.
Food Lion, 99 cents. You can still get a pack of.
We don't have Food Lion up here. We got Aldi's. We got Stop and Shop.
Well, Aldi's sounds high end.
We got
Publix is expensive though.
No, Aldi's expensive. Because it's like so we got like Whole Foods up here. Like Whole Foods is big, but Whole Foods is dumb expensive.
I want to say our Publix is, but we got a Publix.
No, Publix is like Stop and Shop because I know Publix. It's like Stop and Shop.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to go to Publix right across the street from my
Publix got some bomb sandwiches though. They subs like they.
So I never ate fried bologna because I don't do pork. So.
Yeah, most of the stuff on my list is
that's why I be eating bread and butter. That's why I be eating bread and butter, man.
Bread and butter. That's some next level right there, bro.
You know what? Listen,
I don't even know what that's about.
I still eat bread and butter.
That's gross.
How is that gross? It's butter.
No, I'm talking about
eat toast.
Just butter on bread. It's not even toasted.
It's the same thing.
I was talking about his comment, but
what do you say? Yeah, that's because they still cut bologna with the large casing. So that's what the ring is. I don't know. I don't mess with bologna.
But I tell you though, you get the bologna and then you take you bite the red ring off and just chew on it. It's terrible. Terrible, but it's delicious.
Listen, man. I truly am worried about y'all health
at the same time.
You should be, bro. You should be.
The type of meat that Danny has admitted to eating today has me really worried for him and his family.
You should be worried.
He said struggle meals.
Danny not struggling now. Danny got money. Danny got a full-time job. He got a whole comic book company, and he got a store. That don't sound like struggle to me.
All that stuff costs money.
All that costs money though.
All it make money too.
Okay.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. You're right. You're right.
Put that into existence.
That's what you waking up.
Hey man, I'm wishing good for you, brother. I wish
we're gonna speak those things that are not as though they are.
I'm always speak that into existence for y'all.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
But Danny, you gotta stop. Listen, man, you gotta spend a little more for that sloppy joes, man. Just spend a little more for real meat, man.
I'm gonna tell you.
Just spend a little more. Just a little more.
Some oodles and noodles and a pack of water on the floor at my house.
You can afford to buy. You can afford to buy real noodles, man. They're not expensive.
The real noodles.
I promise you, they're not expensive.
The real noodles is the joints in the pack, bro.
The real noodles in the box.
In the pack, bro.
I know, but you could buy a whole box for like $2. That's like 3 meals.
If they go on sale, them joints go on sale for like 20 cents per pack or something.
That's oodles and noodles you talking about. You talking about oodles and noodles, Javon.
I'm fine with either. I don't give a crap. They're all the same.
Hey, what's the best flavor though? What's the best flavor of oodles and noodles though?
This is the long-standing debate. I'm pretty sure most people go with chicken.
I'm going with shrimp. I go with shrimp.
I think most people, like, if you did a national poll, because I did a poll in the group early on.
Chemicals.
I did a group in the poll early on, and I could have sworn people said chicken. I like it. Depends to me. It depends on my food flavor. I love Oriental. I love shrimp. I love spicy.
I don't like the Oriental.
Your insides is all jacked up, man.
I like spicy
blue
shrimp.
Oriental one.
Shout out to Rod, man. I met Rod. If I believe that's the Rod I met in Baltimore, man.
Big
He
Rod.
got good stuff, man. He got good stuff.
Rod about 7'2".
See,
y'all met Rod, so y'all know Rod.
Okay,
yeah. I met him. I just met him in Baltimore, man.
Jay said
Rod's a good dude.
Him and his
They got
wife.
Rod got a Kickstarter going right now too, I believe.
Oh, bet Rod, man. Why you ain't talking?
Yambi.
Yeah, I know, right? We got to get him on next week.
Rod, man.
Rod, how many days you got left? Because we can definitely get you on here. And ticket for
Yambi Chronicles.
For Shauna and Wendell for HBCU Con. I meant to hit that down there.
18 days. Yeah, man. You got to come on, man.
You got to come on next week, bro.
Man. Absolutely.
Got to.
What's our next week? We're gonna get Rod on and get him to do a top 5.
I'm literally jumping up. I was about to say something. I can't say it. I can't say it live on the air.
Wow.
I was about to mess
Is it
something
racist?
up. No, I was about to mess something up.
You know whose name you better leave out your mouth. Keep playing.
What are you talking about?
We're doing top 5 anime characters next time.
Ramen with 99-cent cat. You could
do it.
That's what I'm saying, Jay. You could do that. There's so many different ways. There's so many different ways to spice up noodles. It's crazy.
Listen, man.
Like,
ramen noodles is not food. Okay, that's
whatever you say, sir.
That's plastic.
Neither is sloppy.
What'd you say?
Neither are sloppy joes.
It's
sloppy
literally
joes is at least meat. At least meat.
Ramen noodles is
we don't know
just
where
like
that meat came from.
Dude, I use ground chicken.
MSG in there to fill up the space in your stomach so that you don't. It's like
fill up the space in something.
It's like eating cardboard just to take the space.
Fill up the space in your arteries. That's what it's going to fill up the space.
That's all it's for right there.
He said that's what the mixed vegetables is for. 99-cent can of mixed veggies. I don't know how much of that is real vegetables. It's 99 cents.
I mean, it's real vegetables.
Yeah.
And
some peas and some that's delicious. I'm gonna have to try that out.
I'm glad we all understand what struggle. Hopefully we all have like real meals in like 2 days. I want y'all to eat.
I'm gonna destroy my Thanksgiving. You ain't got to worry about that. So
I need some. What is it? I need some low volume plates. Is that what we talk about? What they call it?
Some low vibrational plates.
Low vibration plates. My plate gonna be ain't gonna be no vibrations on my plate.
My
what y'all doing for what y'all doing for Thanksgiving?
Spending it with family.
Eating everything that comes across my eyeballs.
Wait a minute now.
I gotta go get little man that morning, and I probably will be. I'm trying to figure that out because I definitely I want my brother and my mom to see little man, but at the same time I don't want to be around a group yet with little man because I'm still, you know what I'm saying, too much stuff floating around here still. So, but I will be partaking in food wherever I am. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Braised Vienna sausages.
What the hell? What are kipper snacks?
Kipper snacks. I don't know what kipper. That might be some military stuff right there, Rod. Because Rod. Y'all know Rod is a. Rod, you a SEAL, right?
Man, I should have put MREs on there, man. MREs, that's a struggle meal right there. Especially if you if you
wait. What's the MRE?
MRE is the meals ready to eat that you have in the military.
Yeah, I knew you were.
A little. And what we did was we would keep them. I would take some home.
That's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair.
You
bro.
can't put that on there. The whole military, everything about the military is supposed to be struggle.
That's
everything.
Hey,
that's the whole point.
Of all of it.
That's the whole
MREs
point. Especially for
though.
a Marine, that's the whole point is to be a struggle. Y'all ain't supposed to be living in a life of luxury.
Bruh, certain ones of those MREs are delicious though. Like they got a chicken pesto pasta one that you can have that you eat, bruh. It's like bruh. Then they had like the blueberry
cardboard with
blackberry.
That's a ramen noodle. Those are ramen noodles.
You're not about to keep slandering ramen
That's
noodles.
Ramen noodles. It's cardboard.
Bro.
You're not about to keep slandering ramen noodles now.
I saw somebody filling the street with a whole bunch of ramen noodles. They filling a pothole with ramen noodles.
I was gonna say that I was gonna put Swole on here, but I couldn't because I haven't had it yet.
What is that?
What's that? Swole?
So it's a prison meal concoction. They're able to make.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I can't put it on here because I haven't had it yet.
Well, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to know that.
Don't even say yet. You don't even want to have that.
I was about to say, like, why you wishing?
I want to try it because I'm not. Look,
why?
Just because they in prison, I didn't say I want to try it in prison. I just want to try Swole. That's all.
Why though?
Because they're very innovative.
I would never associate with prison.
They're very innovative.
I want to be happily ignorant of anything that happens in prison.
Hey man, listen, I envy the genius of some of the people that have been in prison for whatever reason.
Cali muscle prison meal.
See, there you go. See, J-Pat, no. I'm telling you, bro. Yeah, look it up. Look up what's
all right. Hey, listen, I believe you.
I'm just telling you.
Danny, you want to talk about what you want to talk about?
No, I ain't gonna be able to do it. I gotta get out of here. The guy just called. I'm about to go to the studio, make some money real quick.
No, I thought you were struggling. Get out of here, man. You don't make no money.
Am struggling. That's why I'm leaving at 8:30 to try to make some money, bro. I'm trying to get it.
Go ahead and make your money. Go and get your money.
I appreciate y'all. We out of here.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, man.
I made sure, happy Thanksgiving, bro. I made sure I put the list up this week.
Before I go, don't be arguing like y'all was arguing last week, having people sending me messages talking about, hey, get in there and get your boys because they about to come to blows. I got at least two messages.
Time out. Here's the deal.
Two messages.
Time out. We ended the show like nothing. So like the people who think that we were arguing, but we ended the show
in my
like
inbox.
with understanding. Who?
I had two people in my inbox. I can't say, but they said, "Listen, see, Justin saying right now,
hey,
that was crazy." I
already told
what
Morgan
up,
that Morgan. That was it. Morgan got me that one time. He got me.
Y'all send Justin the link since I got to get out of here to keep y'all moderated.
All right, Justin, come on in, man. I'm all right with that.
You send him the link.
I don't know Justin. Do I know Justin like that?
I'm trying to think. Are we?
I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think Justin's been.
I do. Let me. I'm gonna shoot him to him right now. Hold
on. Trying to make sure I get the list back up there too. Over time.
I told everybody Morgan got me. That was the first time I legit got angry at Morgan.
Good at my job, sir.
You don't. If that's the first time, you ain't really get me. All right, Justin. I sent it to you, man. That was the first time Morgan got me. The first time. If we were, I ain't gonna swing on it.
That is.
Wait, what? That came in white cans with black lettering.
Generic food that came in white
cans. King Vitamin cereal. What the hell is that?
Oh, you wildin'. Yo, I see you, Jay. Yeah, Jay, me and Jay have been through some things. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that cereal. Or when you go to the grocery store and the only cereal you could afford is a joint that's in the huge bags called
I know what you're talking about.
Instead of being Honey Nut Cheerios, they call Nutty-O's or something crazy.
Yeah. I done had all kinds of generic cereal. All kinds of generic cereal. But you know it's regional though. So like the stuff y'all might have been getting ain't the stuff that we was getting up here though.
That's true. I'm just saying, bro. Like if you look, I don't know, bro.
I think
everybody
got
to vote on the list. Matter of fact, I'm about to start putting it up now. I'm about to put it on.
I say this though, God bless my mother, and I love her.
Absolutely.
May she rest in peace. But she never had us on WIC. Not that I know of. Like my mom made sure we had food. made sure we always had something. So, you know, puffed wheat instead of Diggum. I know what you're talking about. What did we have? What was it wasn't like Honey Nut Cheerios. It was called something else. Dog, I wish I could remember it. We used to have all them type of generic cereals.
And nothing wrong with it either.
I don't care.
I used to mash that joint, bro. You hear
Now,
me?
I remember I used to forget just food. Like, I used to have like British Knights instead of Nikes.
Heck yeah.
I had them British Knights.
But you would have had the nerve to ask for some freaking.
Oh, I never.
My last name is Iverson, and I ain't never had no Iversons.
I've never had. I didn't get a pair of Jordans until I was in my 30s.
Shoot, I think I got some knockoff joints like in college.
And I didn't even buy my Jordans. My wife
market.
got them to me as a gift. That was the first time I got Jordans. The Gum and G's. Yep. I just said it earlier. Gum and cheese. I had that big brick of cheese. British Knights were the issue.
That crap definitely was not cheese, too.
British Knights were struggle shoes. All right, listen, man. Let's be real here. British Knights were struggle shoes. All right. We love them. Nostalgia. They were struggle shoes.
I mean, they could bring them back now. You know what I got one Christmas? I said I wanted some Timbs, you know what I mean, for Christmas.
I ain't never had no Timbs.
And that's exactly what I got. Some shoes that had a tree on it that said Timbs, Tims. That's exactly what I got. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't hate. Like, can I really get mad? Not really. You know what I'm saying?
I used to have hand-me-downs, so I would have like high water. I had like high water pants for like.
I could see you having high water.
I had high water pants, man. Like we did with what we could do. I had them high water pants, and I used to get snapped on. That's a great segue into the thing.
It is actually.
So, all right. So here's the deal. Somebody posted on. I saw it on Instagram, but it was a TikTok, I guess, where somebody said roasting leads to insecurities in men. It's not just jokes. And so I posted it on Facebook to get people's ideas on it. And I think it's interesting, like, of the people that responded, like, I feel like women responded like they agreed with it, whereas men were basically like, it depends. Now, I didn't really give my opinion on it. Yep, MC Hammer used to wear British Knight. That's because he was sponsoring the Bad Boys.
I bet you people wanted them though.
I was a big MC Hammer fan, sir. But anyway, like I didn't give my opinion on it, but my opinion on that is, I think it was we were talking about this, Morgan, where like, oh no, it wasn't. It was me and another friend of mine, and basically, most men that hang out, there's always like this, like the understanding that like you don't say certain things because F around and find out, like you know what I mean? Like we always know there's a line for the most part.
Usually it's your mom.
Or somebody who passed away, or a really personal situation or something like that. Like there's a line, but that's for like men in general.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if women have that line.
Yes,
like I don't know.
They do.
Do they have a line? Like seriously, do women have a line where they just like, we not crossing this line at all?
Man, well, first off,
because there's always the threat of violence stuff. Like we're all men, there's always the threat of violence.
Just waiting down here. Why you ain't just tell me this man was down here waiting for?
I don't know, dude. I can't see.
Oh snap! You got your mic on you, bro.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
I had muted my mic.
There you go.
My bad.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Peace and blessings. What's going on? We good, Javon?
Thanksgiving, sir. Huh?
We good?
Hey, man, we good, man.
Yeah, I hear you now, bro.
Sure. He was like, I don't even know you.
I didn't even, you know what it is though. Real talk. I was so like Morgan had me so like heated, and like I just saw like the comments. I didn't really see the names. Like it didn't register, so I was just like, that's why I told you that was the first time he got me. He got me outside of myself.
I disagree, bro.
I'm not bad. I was like,
you've never gotten listen,
bro.
You've never gotten me that.
I've definitely gotten you before.
I never said I'll get excited and energetic and everything like that and passionate, but like angry. I was angry last week because y'all was saying some of the dumbest stuff, and it was making my brain hurt. Like,
why is it dumb?
It was, it was dumb. It was dumb. I'm not going back over it again. I'm not doing it again. We're not doing it again. I'm just telling you what I was feeling at the time. Like y'all, there was a lot of dumb stuff said last week, and I was just sitting here like, man, I felt like I was losing.
Dumb to you.
But anyway, back to what I was saying.
Dumb to you.
I just feel like with all men, there's always a threat of violence, right?
Like, up in the group.
If I'm talking to Morgan in person and I say something like about his son, there's a really good chance Morgan might knock me the hell out.
I'm glad you realized that.
No, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, but if Morgan talking to me and he saying something about my sister, Morgan might be unconscious. I think all men like are aware of that. You know what I mean? Like that's why, like, if a man gets into
that's part of our thing of protection. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes.
And so, like, if you're friends, if you are friends with people, like Morgan and Danny and I can snap on each other, but we always know where the line is, and we always I'm not trying to hurt Morgan's feelings.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm never trying to hurt Morgan's feelings. Morgan is never trying to hurt my feelings.
You saying stuff jokingly, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
but
right.
You know, it's not. Yeah.
But like there are also people who I don't do that with. Like there are guys that I know who that's not what they do. That's not how they get down.
Right.
I don't snap with them like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it could be for any matter of reason. It could be they got a temper, or it could be they sensitive.
Or you don't know them like that.
Or you just don't know them.
Well, no, I'm talking about friends. Like I have friends that I just don't snap like that with them.
Yeah.
Because that's just not like I understand how our relationship works. Yeah. But I feel like if you're in a group of people who snap and you don't like it, in my opinion, this is a free world. Find another group of people. Or tell them people, hey, I'm off limits, don't mess with me. But don't be mad if like they don't have the same vibe with you that they have with everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, because me and Bishop, we're that way. And the first time we met, he tried to crack a joke with me. He was hosting an event. He on stage and he cracking a joke about me. And I was like, Fim, you don't know me. I'm about to come up on stage, like, fight him or whatever. And then, like, we actually went outside and talked, and, you know what I'm saying, everything got cool, and then we became friends after that. But, I'm that way too. It's like, if they coming out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know me like that. To be I'm trying to say something, and then, like, doing it publicly, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a mix of the wrong things.
Now, if I'm doing stuff and then you're doing it back, that's fine. But you just start throwing stuff at me, I'm like, cause I almost did that with DL Hughley one time. I went to a show and he called me out. I was like, you don't even know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh man, you was in the front row.
Like, you was in the front row. I'm not going at it with DL.
Go in the front row. Don't go into that with DL.
I was sitting in the front row. You know what I'm saying?
But hey,
hold on, fam. You don't know me like that, like.
But that's like, did you see that video clip with the football player Ben Watson? So there was a clip where they were like, they had a round table. It was a college football like game day show, whatever.
Oh man, I meant to watch that clip.
Oh man, so the four of them are talking, and one of the guys says to Ben Watson, "Hey man, you didn't get the memo. We all in gray and you all in color." And so they're like they joking about that, and everything is cool. But so Ben said, "It don't matter as long as my wife thinks I look good, I'm good." And he was like, "Baby, send me the text telling me I look good or not." And as they were going to commercial, sometimes they go to commercial, they have the clips playing, but you can hear the guys in the background. So one of the guys said, as they were going to commercial, "That's not the text that your wife sent me last night."
Oh,
And so they came back from commercial, and it was only 2 guys.
Oh wow!
Ben was off camera, and the other guy was off camera. And then Ben came on camera, and he was like fixing himself. He was clearly pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude was like, "Yo, are you good? Like, did you tell the guy said did you tell him to keep your wife's name out his mouth?
Keep my wife's name out your mouth."
Okay, let's go back to that. Was that a valid response or
I mean, I don't know if they fought or anything. Like afterwards, they posted on Facebook talking about still friends, and like he in the background, like. I personally think there are a few things, like I know the things that I won't talk about. I'm not going to talk about your wife or girlfriend, your kids, or any deceased loved ones, or your parents. Those are the 4 places I stay away from.
Right.
I think so, Jess. We talked about that on the show when it happened. Of course, like
naturally.
We literally changed our poster. Like I don't remember what we were doing that week, but like we had one half of the poster what it was, and one half of the poster Will smacked.
Oh, the Will Smith.
Yeah. And we talked about that joint. I can see both angles. What I give the most respect for is Chris handling it the way he did, because that could have went a whole different way. You know what I'm saying? Completely.
TV or not, you're not gonna put your hands on me, and I'm not gonna do nothing back.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why, to me, Chris gets the utmost respect. Chris gets the utmost respect for that situation, because I don't think it was because he was scared of Will. I think it was because he was cognizant of the moment. You know what I'm saying? I think he was cognizant of things that Will had lost Will of. Will, I understood where he was coming from, but he took it overboard for fact. Like, to me, if you're gonna handle it, you don't need to smack him in front of everybody. You could have jacked him up in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? You could have been like, I got, especially with Will's normal demeanor. But that's the other thing. Like his normal demeanor is like ha, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. You get to the back, then you handle it and be like, yo, keep my wife's name out your mouth, bro. Like, I don't want to hear you bring her up no more. And if you do, there's not gonna be good energy between us, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? To me, he should have handled it backstage. To hit him in the mouth on stage, you could view it as a punk move, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Because what did you expect him to do when you hit him on stage at the freaking Oscars? You know what I'm saying?
People are people, right? Some people have certain levels of restraint.
Yeah.
Will Smith's level of restraint in his case was a lot lower than Chris Rock's.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Neither are right, neither are wrong. If they did decide to fight, I wouldn't be mad at it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm definitely not allowed. I'm with you.
I thought
smack me in my mouth. Hey, well,
but I thought the post was interesting because it talked about how whoever the person is believe that roasting leads to insecurities in men, and I don't know if I believe that. Not because it depends, because like I know a lot of people consider like roasting bullying.
It definitely can be.
And but to me that's 2 different things, right? Because if we roasting, if me and you snapping, because we're using different words, snapping, roasting, whatever. I use snapping. Yeah. If I'm snapping on you, that means you have the right to snap back. And we go back and forth. And so for me, I remember as I was, as a kid, like, the friends that, my close circle of friends, we all snapped. And so like, but, they were already a group of friends before I got there. So when I became a group, part of that group, you either had to be quick or you just gonna get snapped on. And I feel like it thickened my skin. Right. So like, you could say whatever you said, want to say about me, because my friends have already joked about whatever, within realm of respect. And like, but I'm also quick with it. I can come back and get you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that helped me more than anything. Now, bullying is different. Like if you like getting ultra real personal, like, oh man, your mom is this and da 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 da, and you're not saying like your mama jokes, but you saying like, Your
mm-hmm.
mama is this. To me, that's bullying. And so that's not roasting to me. Like that's two different things to me. That's what I'm saying. When I think of a roast, I think of like everybody up on stage. Like a roast is good natured.
Yeah, I think for the basic ask of the question and a basic answer to that question, or just responding to that statement, I think number one, it depends on the person. I think it definitely can create insecurities, especially because men, in my opinion, and I've said this, I don't remember how many times on the show, but I know, like in real conversations and in real life, men, we are almost predisposed to our ego leading most things that we do, or especially when it comes to getting upset. Like our pride is huge, you know what I'm saying? And if somebody can, our pride can lead us places that we have no business, you know what I'm saying, quickly, you know what I'm saying? So if you're in a situation where you could also be demoralized too. Like when I was growing up, I got picked on all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's anybody on this bus we picking on, it's this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was that kid for forever. Like until I got to high school. And like really, because I didn't used to cuss. Like I was seen as a goody two shoes. I got good grades. You know what I'm saying? So like until I got to middle school and started to kind of snap back to show that I had wit to match them, you know what I'm saying, and go back and forth with them or whatever. And then once I started lifting weights, playing football, running track, then of course it waned over time, you know what I'm saying, because of my attitude coming back to it. But did it or could it create insecurities? Yeah, it depends on how deeply you're going to allow it to go into your heart or into your psyche. You know what I'm saying? And especially if it's coming at you on a regular basis hard. Like if you have somebody that's that wasn't even snapping. That was just bullying, period. You know what I'm saying? But like
that's what I'm saying, there's a difference.
They go hand in hand sometimes though.
I don't think they go hand in hand to me. I think one is one and one is the other. You know what I mean? Like if you're bullying somebody, it's not, there's no good natured level to it. Like you're just being a for lack of a better word, a dick. You feel me?
But there's a lot of that though.
Right, and that's fine. Bullying leads to insecurities. Like roasting, I don't like. That's like somebody like my friends. You know, oh man, that dude's skinny as heck. That's what I used to hear a lot of. Like when I was young, I used to hear about, oh, you skinny, and I'd be like, but my friend was like heavy set, so I get back at him about his thing. So it's like, obviously, I know I'm skinny. He know he's heavy set, and we're just making fun. But usually, it's like if somebody says something smart or whatever. Like I said, like I mean, it's like good natured. Like we all know the deal here. Am I frozen?
No, you good.
Okay, good. It's like we all know the deal. We all friends. We all know the line. Just don't cross the line, and you'll be all right. You know what I mean? Don't F around, and you won't find out. Basically.
Yeah, but I think in my experience, I've seen it. It's like when you it's like slap boxing, and slap boxing starts off cool too. You know what I'm saying? Like it starts off cool until somebody gets lambasted, like until somebody really puts hands on you, like for real. You know what I mean? And you get embarrassed. God knows if there's people watching, you get embarrassed. You know what I mean? So somebody could make a good natured snap on you, but like Jess said earlier, if there's people watching or there's a crowd, that changes it. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Like that changes your reaction to everything. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, if you're roasting, if you're snapping, if you're doing anything, people are listening. There's a crowd around. So whatever it is that they're snapping on you about, can it create an insecurity? Yes. If they're snapping on you about your clothes, if they're snapping on you about, God forbid if you're a kid, but if they're snapping on you about your hairline, like you can't, you know, stuff that you have no control over.
I get you.
That can 100% cause insecurities. You know what I'm saying? Even if you laugh and joke back, later on in your life, especially once you start to go after females or whatever, God help you if a female ever says, I mean, or you overhear a female talking to another female that you try to holler at, talk about some. I mean, I would have hollered at him, but his hairline, or I would have hollered at him, but his clothes, and it's the same stuff that your boy you for.
Let me tell you, I'm raised by all women, and be hearing them talking, be like, damn.
I'm telling you. You know,
but, you know, it's funny. I've always maybe because I look at it from like I was really bullied. Like I was a smaller kid. Like I said, I was a skinny, small kid who read comic books. Like I didn't do sports at the time. I didn't really care about sports. And you know, I already told you, you know, I didn't have the flyest kicks or the flyest clothes or anything like that. So I was like bullied. So like I know what bullying looks like. And then, so I'm able to kind of contrast it with like snapping or roasting. And so to me, like I've always like, okay, that's bullying. Like I know what bullying is because I've seen bullying. I've endured it. This is not bullying. And because to me, bullying is like, I could keep fighting this bully and they just going to keep coming for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm too small and I can't really, you know, at the time until I like took martial arts and they seem to leave me alone after that, even though I was like a white belt. It was the funniest thing in the world. But
one little,
I didn't even have to do that. They just do. They just do. But like,
I mean, I'm like you, Jamon. I was the same way. Same environment. I grew up with crackhead parents. So had worst of the worst situations and got bullied, teased. You know what I'm saying? A lot. But my thing was, I fought. I always.
Oh no, I fought. I just got my ass kicked.
It got to the point where, like, I think people used to do stuff to make me fight.
Yeah,
because I was. I pop off like real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Heartbeat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm with you. I got picked on for so long because I was not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, like I got picked on back. There was a that you know how you you know everybody does birthday licks, right? So I think it was my 7th grade year. I came to school and I was praying to God that nobody knew it was my birthday, bro. Praying, bro. Like for real. And my freaking best friends, to this day, best friends, one of them, I can't remember who, told somebody it was my birthday. I don't remember who it was. Matter of fact, because I can't remember it vividly, I'm not gonna put that on them. I just know somehow it got out it was my birthday. So when I get off the bus, I'm getting destroyed by people for birthday.
Hey man, they cared, man.
I go, no, you don't understand.
I'm just messing with you.
It's random. It's random. It's people I don't know. Never seen them before in my life. And I'm not talking about no regular like love taps. No, these like really hit me. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't do that in my school.
I got to the cafeteria. I'm sitting down. A whole cafeteria full of kids. Man, this dude came. It was a dude, chick I grew up with in my hood. These mothers were giving me. I was like 13. They gave me like 70 birthday licks. Like just
Morgan, that was your fault. Morgan, that was your fault, man. You supposed to fake sick.
Man,
you're supposed to fake sick, man. You're supposed to put the thermometer over the fire. Or put it in the light.
In the water.
Yeah, put it in the water.
I should have just beaten the brakes off of them. Because that's what I'm saying. This was before my time of fighting back and stuff. But like I went back home, my arm was so swollen. When my grandma saw it when I got home, she cried immediately. It was that bad. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have any brevity of how bad it was because for me, I was just used to grit and bear it. You know what I'm saying? And take it. But once
I wonder where that came from.
What, birthday hit?
Getting punched on your birthday.
The hood.
I mean, listen, man.
Why do you get beat up on your birthday?
Kids are violent, yo. They look for any reason to hit. Kids are violent, dude. The one thing I've learned, the kids just like hitting. My son is 4. And he'll roll up to me and just smack the heck out of me. I'd be like, I ain't even do nothing, man. I'm sitting here watching the game.
Right.
They just be looking for reasons to. But I'm with you more. Like I'm with you, both of you. I used to fight all the time. My mom used to be like, man, you always getting in fights. And I'd be like, yo, I just be minding my business. And somebody just come over and bother me. for some reason, and I got a smart mouth still.
Mm-hmm.
But back then I had a smart mouth, but I ain't really know when not to control it. You know, I'm raised in a family of sarcastic people. So like if you say something to me, I'm gonna say something back. And you know, bullies, like they don't want you to fight back. They don't want you to say nothing. They just want you to get bullied. The funny part about this is almost everybody that tried to bully me ended up trying to be cool with me in high school.
I can't.
Almost everyone, like to a man, it has to this day. I'm Facebook friends with a lot of them. I'm not gonna call your names out. You know who you are, but you know I'm expecting. You know, but you know, hey, listen, like you know, life is you know interesting that way. But I understand what you guys mean about how like it could cause, but that's what I'm saying. Like for me, roasting to me doesn't cause like it can. But like I think about my daughters, like I joke around my daughters. I used to originally like I would like really joke around with them about stuff, and then like they would for them like they didn't really understand it. They don't really get snapping and stuff like that. So I had to like, all right, well I got to be funny with y'all a different way. So you know it's and I'm still working on that because you know I do it with my son, but my son even at 4 he will snap back at me. It'd be silly, goofy little boy stuff, but like he gets it. And I'm glad that he's at least quick enough so he knows, you know what I mean? Like, cause I don't want him to go through what I went through.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I
do
just
that
thought
with my
that was
boys
interesting.
too. So that way, and it's funny, like listening to them sometimes. I could be in a whole nother room and just listen to them go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? They argue, they start arguing, then they start throwing some jabs at each other. I'm just like, ooh.
Like, oh, don't let him do that to you, man. You gotta get him back.
Videos.
Like my son, we were at a playscape this weekend, and he's like, some little boy said he was a monster. I was like, you don't need that little boy. Go on, get out of here. And then we came home. Like at the time, I was just trying to wave it off, but like my wife was like, "You tell him that he's a monster." I was like, "You darn right. You darn right. You tell him back." So you know, it's interesting. I thought it was an interesting thing, and I do think there is a little bit of it's not a black or white thing, and I do think it's a lot more about the group, the people that you hang out with. And you have the ability to not hang out with these people. So, you know, if you think these people are snapping too much and you ain't down with that, you either need to set your boundaries or find a new group.
Yeah, sometimes your boundaries are these hands. So,
I
mean,
that's it.
It's true.
You know, sometimes
it's true.
What did you say? Say it one more time. Beep, beep, beep. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Chris Rock learned them boundaries real quick. Chris Rock. I don't agree with it. But you know,
well, sometimes that's the only language people understand. Now that I'm good at, you know what I'm saying? I'm good at trying to meet you where you seem to be coming at me from. Like I'm the type that if I get upset, most everything I can let roll off. You know what I'm saying? It's not serious enough for me to fight, but I'm definitely a return energy type person. So if you're, that's just how I was raised. Like, cause my grandma has a very strong voice. So when she says things, it could sound like she's like being super stern or yelling. And it took me like 18 plus years to realize she's not yelling. That's just her voice. You know what I'm saying? So like if I'm talking to somebody, we're going back and forth and you raise your voice, I mean, I don't have any choice now. Like I got to, at the very least, I have to meet you where you are, or I got to go above that. But if I'm in person with this person, there's always a line in my head of like, yo, don't step here. Like, and at some point I'm going to tell you if I feel myself going that way, like, hey, listen, because like once we keep talking about a certain amount of stuff, if I feel myself getting to that level of anger, I'm going to say during the conversation, like, yo,
we've heard that on this show.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like once I get to a certain place and I'm that angry,
I just want to point out that Danny doesn't care, by the way. Danny doesn't care.
I'm going to make it known. Hey, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll make it known, and then if you continue to keep going, it's because you wanted smoke, and now I got fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. Because if I don't fight you now you're gonna think it's okay to just keep. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to go that extra mile. Now we're grown now, so there's consequences. You know what I'm saying? Like, we decide to fight, there could be major consequences, life-changing consequences that I have to think about. But again, because I'm so, like, if you could get me to a 10, you had to have done something really crazy.
I told you my list. If you touch any of these 4 points, there's a very good chance. If we're in person, there's a very good chance. Like, I'm gonna give you a warning. That's about where I'm at. Like, as a man, I'm gonna be like, hey, don't talk about my wife, don't talk about my kids, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. If you decide, like Morgan said, if you decide to keep down that, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna either try to walk away from the situation, because like you said, we grown. If we fight, you know, I don't want no police rolling up or nothing. But if I try to walk away and you continue to follow me, like some people who jerks, they try to like follow and keep.
That's a fact.
Then
those people do exist out there.
I am not responsible for what happens after that.
Yeah, I think I've been like that. Like, I've been like that a few times. I think like the last time I've ever been to that level of like pissed off, it was in like a group, Facebook group, and somebody went on my profile and was like doing memes with like in cracking jokes on like pictures with me with my kids, and I was like, yo, don't cracking jokes on me, my profession.
Talk like about me all day.
Or wasn't law enforcement. I'm retired now. Like, all you want, whatever. Leave my kids out this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, talk about me all you want.
I was like, okay. And then dude didn't realize like I'm because most of the people are from Philly. I'm like, he don't realize like I'm from Philly. Like, I can just go home on a whim at any time. Matter of fact, I feel like going home today.
I feel like seeing my folks. It's been so long since I've seen my family. I need to make it.
And I started posting, hey, I'm in Philly. Where you at? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want all this action now. Cause I told you, don't say nothing about my kids.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I got a god brother like that. That like I've legitimately, you know, you be online playing Call of Duty or whatever, and people be talking noise or being racist or whatever, and he was talking silly to my god brother, man. I'm like, man, please don't think this man's not serious. He will literally, like, oh, buddy was like, man, you ain't from where I'm from. You don't know nothing about this, blah, 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 blah. And my god brother's like, nigga, you look, you do not have to keep talking. Yo, matter of fact, where you at? And dude was in Philly. You know what I'm saying? Dude was in Philly. And my brother was like, yeah, just tell me where you at. I can fly to where you at right now. I promise you I'm on the way. And I'm trying to tell old buddy on the thing, like, no, he's serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody else is talking like, laughing. And I'm like, no, he's serious. Like, I had to get off to call him and be like, yo, don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you there's way too much, because he's quick trigger. You know what I'm saying? So like, if it starts going to a certain level for him, he will go. He completely forgets about everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was like 2 years ago. My kids were playing Call of Duty or something. They're on like this group thing or whatever, and it's coming through the TV, so I'm hearing all the audio. My son, he's stepping away, he's doing something, and I'll just sit in the living room and watch them play or whatever. So he's like, yeah, I'll be right back. They're doing whatever. One kid, his friend is the brother of his friend. Was like, yo, tell your friend that he's like, he stepped away, he doing something for his grandma. He's like, man, fuck that nigga's grandma. And I was like, I'm grabbing what the fuck you just say? I said, who's it? And I was like, that's your brother? Okay. I get on the phone and I call the dude Pop. I'm like, yo, your son. I was like, how old is your son? I said, I may either need to fight you or him.
Jesus.
Like right now, I was like, nah, we ain't having that.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
I was like, he's not gonna disrespect my mom, so I gotta fight you or him, one of the two. I don't know how old.
Somebody gotta give.
I'm gonna fight you or him. I'm
Somebody
coming over there
give
right
you
now.
hands,
And we gonna
Oh,
talk about
I've already said, like I was like, listen, man, when my son get older, if I find out my son getting bullied, if I find out he fighting back, but he just losing, I'm like, but if he take it too far, I gotta see pops.
Oh
See,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So I'm gonna be like, either you need to give me 5 minutes in the room with your son, or you and I need to handle this.
Yeah.
And I'm not fighting. I don't fight fair, so don't worry about it. I don't fight fair. This ain't about no ego. I'm gonna just whoop you with whatever is around me.
See, that's what I'm
my
saying.
Youngest son, with my youngest son, he's playing with a couple kids in the neighborhood, and I could happen to see him out the kitchen window, and he's like up against this tree. I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe he's hiding or whatever. I come back, he's still there. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, they left me here. I can't move. I go out there, and they got him handcuffed to a branch. Thankfully,
somebody got
my profession, I got a key. Go back in. I pulled a whole branch off. You know what I'm saying? With the joint still on, I go to the first kid's house, and dude was like, "Oh," I was like, "No, I don't know if it's yours or the other kid's dad, but I'm fighting both of y'all." Because both of y'all kids left my son out here on this tree. So all y'all look at this work right now.
Got a whole 2x4.
Y'all asses with this tree.
He got a whole 2x4 in his head. This dude rode up with a branch.
Look,
he rode one of them Lord of the Rings trees.
I'm like, excuse me, special delivery. My name is Justin, and I'm about to destroy somebody's life.
I got an ass whooping for somebody. Who wants it? Do you want it?
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of the times that in my life that I've gotten to 10. I very seriously don't like getting to 10 because I know myself and I know
I haven't gotten there lately.
When I'm on a 10,
it's been a while.
When I'm on a 10, I literally do not care what happens to anything.
Question.
I don't care about anything. I don't care about what happens to anything. All I want is revenge right now. All I care about is
I can't say that was me on 10. That was me on like a
No, that's 10.
On
man.
8,
don't even lie, man. You walking around with a branch.
That's not a 10, though.
I'll share my when we get off live. I'll share my story on 10.
Yeah,
I tell you. No. I tell you the last time I was at.
That's not a 10. A 10 ain't no control.
To me, the last time I was on a 10 was a long time ago. I haven't been on a 10 like I'm gonna fight somebody. I was dating a young lady, and I might have told this story on the Stoke podcast. Yeah, so we was in this club, and we were like, it was really packed, right? So I was standing, my back against the wall, and she was standing in front of me. And, we dancing, we having a good time. And so these two dudes walked by, and it was like one guy, and then the other guy was right behind him, but he had like his arms on his shoulders, like they were real close walking by. It was weird, and I thought it was weird, but whatever. And like they walked by us, and the lady I was with lost it, started beating up on the dude, whatever, And I'm like, you don't really know what's going on, so you like trying to get her to calm down to let me know. So you need to, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to start swinging on the wrong person. Like, let me know who I'm supposed to start swinging on. So I'm like, calm. Hey, what happened? What happened? He's like, oh, that dude grabbed my breast. But she had already beat up on the dude so much that the security literally had lifted him out. Once I found, I was like, I couldn't even figure it out. Like, so I was angry, but I had nowhere to put the anger because they was gone. So she was like, oh, I'm ready to go. So we leave. We're leaving out. Old boy is still out there. And he's calling my girl every name in the damn book. I literally lost it. I start sprinting at him, and I just feel my arm just get grabbed and jacked back by my lady because she's like, "No, don't." And I'm like, "No, this." And so he starts coming at me, and so she saw, and this is where ladies, hey, they protect their man. She saw the cop car where I didn't see it. And so he starts running at me. I start running at him, but I got pulled back, and the cop just came out of nowhere and just like yanked him. And so that's about as angry as I've been lately, to the point of fighting. And I was in my 20s at that point. I haven't been angry enough to fight in my 30s yet, and definitely not in my 40s.
I think the majority of the time
I haven't had a fight in a while.
The majority of the times I've been close to a 10 were.
I might be wrong too. That's a good question.
I'm trying to remember the last time that I really felt like I'm out of control. Like I legit don't care what happens until everybody's dead. Like I can't think of a time that I've gotten that angry. I know times that I've approached it. Like there was I think I don't remember if I've said that on the show before, but like me and my ex-wife were still together. I had the apartment, washing clothes. It's like maybe 11:30 at night or something like that. We're on the second floor. I know we're drying clothes. And there's a knock on the door. You know what I'm saying? I open the door. When I open the door, it's this big Santa Claus looking person that literally has his foot over the threshold to my apartment. And he's wagging his finger in my face like this close. Literally, like as soon as I open the door, there's 2 things you don't do after 10:30, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, who is he talking? I'm confused. I'm off guard altogether now because literally there was no prerequisite to this. It was just this when I opened the door. And I'm like, wait, hold on. What's the problem? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. He was like, there's 2 things you don't do after 10:30, blah, 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 blah. And again, mind you, his foot is over my threshold already and he's wagging his finger in my face. He's changed colors. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? He was like, there's a noise ordinance that you can't wash your clothes, you can't dry your clothes after a certain time, blah, 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 blah. And I said, I'm sorry, man. We didn't know about the noise ordinance. What are you like? You didn't know about the noise ordinance? Like he's still like going in, you know what I mean? My ex-wife is a firecracker with a short temper, you know what I'm saying? So she was like, she starts talking to him because she's over there doing something on the floor. I don't remember what she was doing, but she's like in the sunroom. And she started talking to him like, you don't come to our house telling us what we can and can't do after blah, 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 blah. Now, I was upset and confused at the same time when he first started talking. When my wife starts talking to him, and then he starts talking past me to talk trash to my wife, I was livid. Like it took everything in, like to this day, I literally describe that crap as a spiritual experience because I literally, as angry as I was, that's the closest to 10 that I can remember in a long time. And as angry as I was, she said my stayed calm the whole time. Because I was like, look, we didn't know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We had a conversation and ended it. And it to a point where it left him looking stupid. But everything inside me was on some Hulk smash, like all of it. You know what I'm saying? He broke every rule that you could possibly break anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown man. You already wagging your finger in my face. The racial dynamics not helping you. You know what I'm saying? Your foot is over my threshold, and you're talking trash to my wife in front of me. It's one thing if you're talking trash to me. It's a whole nother hill of beans if you're talking trash to my wife. It's a whole other thing if you're talking trash to my wife while talking past me. That you know what I'm saying? Like that, you're breaking every rule possible, bro. And everything in my head was like, let's just pull this nigga in here and whoop. You know what I'm saying? Like if I pull him in the house, I'm trying to think if they're in your house, which one would be covered legally? If I was beating the shit out of him in my house, am I wrong? Or if I beat him outside, I can't remember which one it was. But
no, you can't. If they're in their house and you can't pull somebody in.
Okay.
Now, technically, across the threshold. I don't know legally how that works,
bro.
Like Is he already in? I mean, he's already entered the premises without the threshold. I don't know.
From the moment I opened.
I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad we all haven't. I'm glad we all haven't. We all
yeah.
Listen, I know I'm too old to be fighting. I know. You already expressed.
I'll share mine because
you know, I don't want to get you in trouble. So you tell us that later. So I do want to get into the conversation we had on the thread. So here's the background. If you haven't seen it, I don't remember where I saw it. It might have been Twitter, but there was there's an article, and it might be an old article, but Nate Moore, the executive producer, one of the executive producers over at Marvel, was talking about their process and how they create movies. And he was saying, I'm
gonna see if I can grab it to post it.
And he was saying basically, if a writer says they're a big fan of Marvel, that's a red flag for them. Now, the context behind it is he said number one, he was saying that they want people with a fresh perspective, somebody who's not like a big fan of the books, because they can look at something with a different set of eyes. And then B, it seemed like he's saying that he wants the writers to write, and then they'll do the work of
to marvel it,
to accumulate the and pick and choose what they want from the books, basically. Now, the three of us, Morgan, Danny, and I, kind of went back and forth on this because I agree, and they agree with that. They agree with that mindset, that direction. I agree, but I disagree. Now, I agree that it's good to have a fresh set of eyes, but I disagree that somebody being a fan of Marvel should warrant a red flag. And my reasoning is because the entire MCU franchise was built by people who were fans of Marvel. Like almost every franchise in the phase 3 was built by somebody who liked the books. Almost everyone. I understand that there were movies that were done by people who weren't fans of the books. I understand that. But for the most part, Jon Favreau was a fan of Iron Man. The guy who did First Avenger was a fan of Captain America. Coogler was a fan of Black Panther. What's his name? Director of Avengers. I can't remember his name. Joss Whedon. Big fan of comic books. So I feel like, why would you change up? And on top of that, in the beginnings of the MCU, they literally had like a brain trust of comic book writers who would look over scripts and make sure that it was the tone and everything was in line with the source material. Like there was Bendis, Miller, there was a couple other guys, but they had like a brain trust. So my thought is, why would you red flag people who already have an understanding and appreciation for the source material and assume that those people can't bring fresh eyes to it? That was my opinion.
Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I get that. And that's like, I was just thinking, and I took out, as you were saying, Marvel, I started just thinking about every single thing. What if a person came and was like, oh, I've always been a big fan of Adidas or Nike or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Normally it is seen as a good thing because, you know, you have passion behind the work. You want to see this company or product, you know, prosper, you know, the history behind things. So it usually is seen as a good thing. So I don't know why it would be a red flag. Maybe they just want to take that different approach. Like, you know what? Let's have a DC person come in and then we can do our Marvel thing to someone who normally would tailor something around DC. You get what I'm saying? Maybe, I don't know. So.
I think so. During the conversation, I don't know that it was about agree or disagree as much as it was I understood where he was coming from. Pretty much all he's saying is I don't want somebody, if you're a fan of the previous work, I don't want somebody to regurgitate to me the story that they've already read and don't love it. You know what I'm saying? So if the more that you love it, the more that you read of it, the more you feel an ownership of this character, what they should be like, what they would say, what they wouldn't say, how they view the world, all of these type of things, and that might limit your vision for what this movie could be. You see what I'm saying? It's not about the comic. The comic is the source material for the story in general. You know what I'm saying? But it's not the story that we're getting ready to tell in this movie. Because one of the things he said was, there might be 50 years of Superman that's there, but that's not the story that they want to tell. This is a story we want to tell. How can you help us do that? You see what I'm saying? So of this 50 years, this is the story this is the lane that we're interested in right now. Can you help us run that lane? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where he's coming from, and I understand it from that perspective, because if it was somebody, if somebody was adapting Lumberjacks, if my source material is already out there, if somebody's already told a solid origin story for Lumberjacks that is true to the character, to establish who the character is, how he thinks about things or whatever, if that's already out there, then I wouldn't mind somebody taking a different take on things, as long as it's not like you changing Lumberjacks to be from Scandinavia. You know what I'm saying? And he uses a tennis racket instead of an axe. You know what I'm saying? Like something that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But I completely understand the thought process of somebody with fresh, because I don't think he's saying that they're not capable. If you're a fan, you're not capable. What he's saying is it's a red flag, and more than likely, that's the speculation part. Actually, I think he did say that in the podcast. Is that he said, because I do remember him saying usually something another when he was talking about fans that end up writing these things. And to me, the logical part of it is, if they're a fan, they probably run across fans who end up being writers or trying to be writers on these projects. They probably run across a person that wasn't able to expand much past what the source material said, because they only see the source material. You know what I'm saying? So they could tell a story, but the story is going to be confined to what we've already read. You see what I'm saying? Because there's no other angle to see. We need to make sure this joint is as true to this character as possible. And I've read over 20 years of this character, so I know for sure what this character would or would not do. And that's not a story that somebody might be interested in. It might work sometimes. If you're telling the origin story, that works. You know what I'm saying? That could work for origin story. But once you start going into it, everything comes down to what story are they trying to tell. And that's what he was saying. He was saying, like, he specifically said, like, there could be a bunch of source material or there's a bunch of different stories for this character, but that's not the story that we're interested in telling. This one right here is not the story we're interested in telling right now. This is what we're thinking about doing. Can you help us do that? And if you're a big fan of that character, it's going to be, it stands to reason it would be harder for you to detach from all of that source material to give them something fresh. It's not saying it's not possible.
Yeah, but if you're saying we want to tell this story here because they've already done the back work, right? Like that's what he said. Like we're assuming that they're doing all the back work because take pieces here and there. Like let's use Civil War, for example, right? Like Civil War wasn't exactly like the books. They took pieces of what they wanted and then they said, this is the story that they want to tell. Doesn't it make sense that somebody who's already familiar with the material be more capable to give you that and also expand it in a way that it is closer to, like, I get what you're saying about maybe looking at things from a different point of view, but I would say like almost every Marvel movie has been close enough to source material that somebody already being close to the source material to be a red flag seems silly.
To me, I don't see the red flag as a deficiency. It's a more of a it's more.
Well, what else would it be? What do you
He's
hear
saying
it as like?
when he's saying it, and when I listen to the audio that Danny put in the thread, it sounds like to me he's saying it as a matter of fact of experience. In his experience,
Okay,
if in his experience, when a writer comes into the room, they have their idea of what story they want to tell. In his experience, if that writer is a fan of this character or this storyline or whatever, it's harder for them to detach, you know what I'm saying, from that fandom to be able to create something that's fresh or a new perspective on it. And I don't think he's saying it to be as a deficiency to writers that are fans. I think what he's saying is, in my experience, this is what happens. That it doesn't have to be a deficiency. He's not saying that writers that are fans are not capable, because, like you said, Ryan Coogler was a fan of Black Panther. There's other people that have worked in Marvel that were fans of something and ended up making something. I don't think he's saying it as a slight to them. What he's saying is, in his experience with other people that maybe did not end up writing for those movies, the reason they didn't end up writing for those movies is because they were regurgitating. Pretty much. If they weren't regurgitating, they probably would be writing for the movie if it was good, whatever they were writing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he meant it as a slight. He was saying it as a point of fact. It's like if I mean, it would sound crazy. It could sound crazy, like if you were to say, I don't know, I just think dark skinned girls are faster than light skinned girls, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're saying that because more often in your life, when you race dark skinned girls, you got toasted, and when you race light skinned girls, you didn't. It could be. I'm just using a really abstract example. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, it doesn't have to be a slight. Culture could.
Yeah, but it's an incorrect thought though.
It's
right?
incorrect.
It's something based on your experience, but doesn't necessarily. It's not necessarily true across the board.
Yes, but that's my point. That's what I'm saying.
That's like a stereotype. Like a stereotype might have some roots in truth.
It almost always does.
But it's not necessarily truth.
That's fact. But that's
what I'm saying. Like, that's why we don't use it, and that's why I'm saying that using the term red flag, like, there's no real positive connotation for it. It's a negative thing. Like, a red flag is something. Like, if you say, when you're looking for a woman, what are your red flags? Like, that's not like, oh yeah, my red flags are she look good and da-da-da. No, it's a negative connotation. She smokes, she X, Y, and Z. It's very rarely used in a positive way. Like, I can't even think of using it in a positive way.
A red flag for me, let's stay with that example. If I'm trying to date somebody, a red flag would just be, what is something that you would see that may make you take an extra beat to think about the possibility with this person or whatever. But that doesn't mean it's negative.
It's not a good thing though.
It doesn't. It's not.
If it makes you think twice about something, it's not a good thing.
Why? Sometimes thinking twice is good. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Okay to reconsider.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Thinking twice is good, but whatever it is that causes you to think twice is generally not a good thing. No, you understand what I'm saying?
But I understand where you're coming from. But
that's like saying let's like saying that there's a girl that you talking to and she fine, but her laugh is annoying as heck, and it makes you think twice about it. The laugh is the way you think about the laugh is a negative thing. The thinking over it, the actual rethinking process is good, but whatever it is that makes you rethink is not generally, very, very rarely,
but her laugh
positive thing though.
Or it could be something that happens and you're like, oh, maybe it's not so bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then you wouldn't look at it as a red flag though.
Yes, you could because of the previous association with that. Like, if somebody had an annoying laugh before, right? That a laugh that first struck you as annoying, right? When you come across another person that has a laugh that seems annoying, it could be a red flag. Like, oh man, that didn't work out last time. It doesn't mean it's negative. It's just a second thought. Like, okay, but you know what I'm saying? Because it's a second thought. It doesn't mean that you don't continue with that process and see where it goes.
I'm going to agree to disagree. That seems a bit of a stretch to me.
No,
I've never heard the term red flag used in a positive connotation. And I feel like we're stretching to try and find a way.
The term red flag is usually I'm saying 99.9%.
99.9% of the time.
Never used in a positive way.
Yes, it could possibly be used.
But
I'm
not telling you. I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you that it is in a positive way. All I'm telling you is that it doesn't have to be. When I think red flag,
I'm not saying that it has to be the be all end all. Like this is stopping me from doing it. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that why is this considered a red flag? That's all I'm saying. Like if the writer, hold on. If the writer can't give you what you want, it doesn't necessarily mean that has anything to do with them being fans. It could just be they're not, as a writer, capable of giving you what you want, which is why I brought the example of Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler was a fan of Black Panther, and he gave you what you wanted. You understand what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? I'm saying that.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying he did not say across the.
He's saying more often. He said more often than not, it's a red flag. Is what he said. I'm paraphrasing it to a degree, but he said more often than not, it's a red flag. But my question was, how is it a red flag when your entire franchise was built on people who had a pre-existing knowledge and love of their franchises, who build those franchises up, but now it's a red flag? You understand what I mean? If that was the case, Joss Whedon shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like the love and the knowledge that came, the love and that knowledge that came with those writers and directors are the reason why those movies are so loved so much, because people saw the authenticity in it.
But then
like
also
Iron Man,
that, because they know so much, they're now able to throw in the Easter eggs, the hidden messages, the segues into other films or other projects, because this happened, or they started wearing these certain colors, or this pattern of stuff started to happen. They can tell that story and branch off into other ones. So that's what I'm saying. I agree. I don't know why that would be a red flag. I would think that would be a good thing. It would make the job of creating the film easier, more fun or enjoyable.
But then you also have to think about like the tone that the characters set is because that creator, that director, that writer understands the source and understands the personality of the character. And I'll use something, and then I'll use something like Thor: Love and Thunder, right? Like Thor: Love and Thunder is heavily criticized because the tone was off and a lot of people didn't feel like it was Thor. Now, people give Taika credit, and Taika has gone on record saying that he wasn't a big Thor fan. Like he basically learned a lot but by what they told him. And like people give like Ragnarok a lot of credit, and I feel like with both movies, and if I'm wrong, I would love if he can tell me I'm wrong, but it seemed like with Ragnarok there was a little more like input from Marvel to, you know what I mean? And then it felt like Love and Thunder was like they were just like, go ahead, Taika, do whatever, whatever you want to do. And you could see it because there was a level of authenticity that was there in the first one that I don't believe was in the second one, because they let somebody who didn't necessarily have a big love and big like previous respect. Now he might love Thor to death now, so I can't really talk for him. But you can see where this one didn't hit the way the rest of them hit. Whereas if you see like Sam Raimi loves Doctor Strange, you could see it. You could see it all in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I watched the Love and Thunder, the way, especially how you explain it. To me, it kind of reminded me of one of the, I'll say one of the off episodes of Atlanta. Like it goes so far away from the storyline. Like, what am I watching? Like, I didn't understand anything. It just didn't make sense to me. So
now every writer who's a fan of the character, this last thing, this and that Morgan Holly, now every fan, it doesn't give you a great product, because the first Daredevil, I forget the name of the director, but he was a huge Daredevil fan, and that movie was not good. Like that movie was not good.
With Ben Affleck,
bro, when they did that whole scene in the park when they were on the what do you call that thing?
I don't even remember that movie.
The thing that goes up and down, when they were like fighting in the park and the seesaw. They were on the seesaw and they were fighting in the middle of the park in broad daylight. And I was just like, dude, I never was so close to walking out of a movie in my life.
I mean, like I said, I don't like I said in the thread, I don't know that it was about right or wrong for what me and Danny were saying. It was more of, I understand where he's coming from.
I never said right or wrong.
I understand where he's coming from. That's it. Like that's what it was for me. I wasn't trying to argue to say he was right or wrong. I was only saying, and I wasn't trying to argue about the other part either. I was simply saying I understand where he's coming from. I do.
Right.
And I can understand why it makes sense that would be his experience, and I can understand it is not. It's also not an absolute. It's not a one size fits all on either side. Whether it's the fan works out or the fan doesn't work out, it's not a one size fits all. And when I listened to it, I did not take it that he was saying that.
I just think it's a weird turn of phrase. That was it. And that's my whole thing has always been to question why the use of that phrase. Now, you guys obviously, you guys obviously can't answer it. You're just giving your impression of it. Like I would ask him the same thing. I would be like, why use that phrase, instead of saying something a little different?
But I think the simplest way to answer it is usually a red flag for me. Usually a red flag does not have to be negative. It is just something that from my prior experience, from my prior experience, from my prior experience, and it's caution based on a prior experience. It doesn't mean something that I think there are a lot of examples that, like, I've had it in dating. I've had it in I've had it in
bring one up too.
I've had it in dating. I've had it in video games. I've had it in football. I've had, what I'm saying? I've had it. There's plenty of things that I can look at from a red flags conversation, and the red flag thing isn't negative at all. It just even in football, the red flag is to challenge a play. It's to, what I'm saying? It's to challenge the play. It doesn't mean that you were evil in your intent or like anything negative. It just means, hey, hold on, I think you might have messed up that call. Let's
review this.
Yes, that's all it is. It's just a moment of caution to be like, let me review this, because in the past this didn't go well. You know what I'm saying? In the past, it didn't go well. I'm not saying it's bad. It could be based on my past experience. It doesn't mean anything about this current experience.
I get it. I understand.
Because you have, and I know we're about to go far left.
Yeah.
Like, where you going?
All right. So for me, I have 2 kids by 2 different women. So to some women, that's a red flag, right? Yeah. But based off just of that context alone, but when they find out that I actually have custody of both my kids, raising them full time, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. First one I wasn't married. It was just a fling that just happened. Second one, I actually was married. We ended up getting divorced. Whatever. Now I'm remarried, so it doesn't even matter. But during that time, that could happen. That could be a potential red flag or that caution. But then when they know more context or more content, then they're like, okay, that's not bad.
Okay. It definitely, to me, I'm just speaking for me. Red flag has no negative connotation to it. For me, all it means is, hold on. All red flag means for me is, wait, my past experience. You know what I'm saying? My past experience might, yeah, but I don't know. I never know. I saw that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
like a proceed with caution.
Yeah, that's it. Or again, back to the NFL.
I'm with you though. Like I'm with you, Morgan. But like you're stretching on this red flag thing.
I'm not. No, all I'm
stretching on. I'm with you. I agree with everything.
I get both sides. I get both sides.
There's a red flag in football, right? What do they throw the red flag for?
If they got something wrong. But that's not the context.
I don't know if it was wrong.
A lot of times that's a challenge. So
exactly.
Okay, hold on.
When you throw a red flag, all I'm saying to the referee when I throw a red flag is, I think that call
huge reach. That ain't what we use. That's not the context it was used in, sir. That is not the context. In the
context
that people use. That's not it.
In the context it was used.
Morgan, you did it though. You found the instance where a red flag is a positive thing. I will give you credit on that, sir.
One. I'm telling you, there is like there. Justin just brought up one, but his
right. But understand
that's two now.
Time out.
I can give you more.
Even he acknowledged that in their mind, I didn't like understand, right? In their mind, it's a bad thing. It's right. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes, in their mind. I didn't say in the reality. Stop though. It's in their mind it's a bad thing until they learn more information about it. Because if the girl, hold on though. If the young lady meets Just and is like, oh, you got 2 kids, nah, boo-boo, I'm good. And she walks away. She gonna live the rest of her life going, man, he had 2 kids. I wasn't even trying to be in that stuff. It will always be a bad thing, right? It will always be a bad thing. Now, understand, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying in her mind, it's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Like smoking weed. I don't do smoking weed. That's a red flag. Now, to many people, ain't nothing wrong with smoking weed. But to me, If I dated a young lady and I smoke weed.
Now, is that a red flag or is it just more of a preference thing?
That's a red flag for me. That's a red flag. That's because she can have everything else. She can have everything else, but I got to make the decision.
But that,
do I want to go through with this or do I not?
But that goes to my point that it doesn't.
But okay,
have to be negative.
Why?
But it is a negative thing.
It's not
because well, for me personally, I mean, I don't really like the smell of smoke, weed, none of that. I don't do cigars. I don't do cigarettes. I don't do anything. That's just me.
Gotcha.
But the point being is it's a negative thing to me. And very rarely is a red flag.
But Justin just asked whether that's preference or so that this
preferences are like what you like and what you don't like.
Then there's certain people there's certain things that like a person could have certain traits or experience about them, and they're like, oh no, that's a person could have. To some people, a person with bad credit is a red flag because to them that shows that they're irresponsible with money.
Don't mean as a bad person.
Whatever. Maybe in the past they had an ex that mismanaged their funds and
Right.
So now when
whatever reason,
whatever.
It's not a good thing.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
It's not a good thing. Like I understand that what you're trying to do.
The term
and I gave you credit.
Is not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. Now, using a red flag in football, absolutely it's a good thing. Y'all missed on a call, get my call right. That's a good thing. Very rarely do they use a red flag to overturn something for the bad. Very rarely. Very rarely. It's always a positive thing for whoever's throwing the red flag. I'm giving you that one. I would give you that one. But as for the term, the metaphor, to a red flag, it's not a good thing, dude.
It's not a positive one.
It's
the
not,
term
dude.
is not.
I know you tried.
Look at positively.
It's not, dude. Like
especially without having content.
Exactly, and that's all it is. It's something without context. to use your example, Morgan, I'm giving you credit here. If somebody says, I'm a fan of Marvel Comics, he might go, I don't know, man. He might not be able to give me what I want. But if that same writer, director, or whatever pitches a hell of a pitch, he might be willing to overlook that red flag and go forward because he likes the pitch. He's getting what he wants. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree on that. My only thing is that shouldn't even be there. This, in my opinion, if I was in charge, if somebody's like, I'm a big fan of Marvel Comics, great, show me your pitch. Like, I don't really care. Like, it shouldn't matter if you're a big fan or not. Like, it really should matter if you are, kind of, because you should like what the product, like, you should be a fan of the product. Why would you want to hire somebody, huh?
Can't you learn about the product?
I mean, you can learn about the product,
like,
but
if I'm a salesperson, I could have never used your product before, but it doesn't mean that if I learn about the product, I can't learn to love it and still sell it.
That is very true. That is very true. And there have been multiple instances of writers, directors, and actors who never liked Marvel before but became Marvel fans after. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I didn't say that neither side can work. I didn't say that.
Right.
I'm saying that red flag shouldn't even exist. That's all I'm saying. But once again, you're trying to read between the lines to understand what he's saying and feeling, and I'm okay with that. And you can't really answer. Like, it would take him coming on here and being like, hey, dude, why is it a red flag? And he probably would say something along the lines of what you're saying, and we'd probably be in the same discussion going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. You know what? It's a red flag for him that he used the term red flag.
Very true. That was a red flag for me that he used the term red flag. That made me look at him and go, really?
I can't believe that we spent 30 minutes.
I mean, you're the one that tried to convince you. Wait, time out, Morgan. You're the one that's trying to convince us that the term red flag is not a negative thing. That's where most of that conversation came from. You talking about football? Oh, if the coach throws the red flag and everything.
It's simply an example.
Just one question for you, Morgan. What did you think of Ben Simmons' reality? Oh man, what happened? I didn't even see the game.
Reality check in the
He must not have done well.
I didn't see it, Edward. I don't know what you.
Yes, I'm forever on that. If y'all don't know,
why y'all mad at Ben Simmons? Y'all knew that dude couldn't shoot when you drafted him. So, you knew he couldn't shoot when you drafted him. He showed you who he was.
What happened, Edward? Because I didn't see it, so I don't know what you're referencing.
I'm about to look it up now.
I'm gonna Google it right now.
Yeah, we can find out. If I know what it is, I can respond.
Roasted. Nets got roasted. What did Ben Simmons do? 32. He scored 11 points. How many rebounds?
Oh yeah, that's why, because he scored 11 points.
I mean, what are people expecting from Ben Simmons now?
Yeah, I mean, he's not
because he got paid so much money. Now he was doing good. He was doing decent, offensively and defensively. He couldn't shoot, but he was driving to the hole. He get rebounds, all of that.
76ers beat them with subs.
Yeah, because we got Harden still out. Embiid is in and out.
Wow, Marcus Morris, dang.
Yeah,
Josh
I don't.
Whoa.
So let me tell you about with
PJ Tucker.
So let Tobias Harris. He had 20. That. He got this big ass contract, and he stopped producing. When we're in the playoffs, he scores 4 points in the playoffs. 4 points.
Wait, which time? Which playoffs? You talking about the last year? The 2 years? Was it last year?
Or year before your last? 2 years ago.
The Celtics, right?
Yes. 4 points. In game 7. Game that it matters.
Yeah.
That was bad.
4 points.
But I mean, did you expect that?
Yes, I expected more from him. Yes.
I don't blame you to a degree, but at the same time I do, because we who watch basketball are aware of who the killers are and who are not killers. If you thought Ben Simmons was a killer, I don't know how or where you saw that at. I've never seen Ben killer.
I didn't expect him to be a killer.
All right, so
but if you're going up for a wide layup and then decide to pass the ball,
oh, don't get it twisted. That's one of the worst basketball plays I've ever seen in my life. It is literally in my top points. It was horrible. That is
you're making like 100. You're making like 130 million, and you think scoring 4 points is.
But you know, he was in Philly.
And not in the regular season game. That was the playoffs.
But Philly fans weren't. Philly fans y'all were hard on him though. Like y'all
rightfully so.
It's Philly though.
I know it's Philly.
So. You gotta know where you're playing.
Hey, I'm just saying, like y'all were like.
But it's so
y'all were jerks to him.
I don't really feel
he deserves it.
I don't really feel any type of way towards Ben because I personally I hope for the best for him as a man, as a grown man, as a basketball player, and you know for his mental health sake, he's an embarrassment to us.
I want him to stop playing basketball.
Going south in her. I mean.
Y'all knew he did.
What he did
once again before all of that, he was doing solid.
He was, but what I'm saying is like numbers, that series.
He could facilitate. He was good on defense. All of a sudden, he just stopped shooting the ball. But he's always missing. And once again, he's going up for wide open layups, and then for some reason, he just wants to pass the ball.
I feel like he hit a mental block.
I've seen LeBron do that.
So then they take him out. He decides to sit out.
I have.
So then
you've seen LeBron do that?
I've seen.
Then he decides to sit out a whole season.
Yeah, that was
the following season. They trade him to the Nets. He sits out that season too.
He hasn't.
Wasn't that all in one season?
Huh?
Didn't he sit out like half the season, then get traded, and then he sat out the rest of the season? I thought that was
he sat out a whole season with the Sixers.
Because he got traded and then he got traded during the season. He sat out.
Traded. We got Harden.
Right.
He continued to sat out. So that's what I'm saying. He sat out a whole season, and now he's just starting to play, and he's still putting up trash numbers.
But again, we should. All right.
So I'm happy that he's putting up trash numbers with
Kyrie and Durant.
Yeah, with Brooklyn, but. Because he played with the Sixers and he did that to the Sixers.
I think that, like, again, I don't know. I don't categorize players based. I've never seen Ben. Don't get it twisted. I'm not excusing what was done. You're a superstar. So people expect you to be a superstar, or let's not give him a superstar. You're a star that people think have the potential to be a superstar.
You're getting paid.
Yes, you're getting paid
your performance or expected performance, right?
You're getting paid superstar money. You're one of the best defenders in the league.
If you got paid the minimum and you're putting up 11, that's great. But if we're paying you 70 million. That 11 ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not excusing it because, like I said, that's literally in my top 5 worst basketball plays, worst plays ever. Honestly, in any sport, that crap was very sad, especially for it to be on the line and you're 6'11" dang there, and the guy that's right by you is like 6'4". There's just no excuse. But outside of just mentals, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not built for big moments, and he's shown us that. Maybe he could work on it, but he's not. You can't be a killer. Like it's the knock that a lot of people have on LeBron, that he's not a natural killer. I've seen LeBron go kill, but he's not a natural killer. He's not a natural killer. Like, you know what I'm saying? And for me, I don't expect Ben to be that at all. If he does, it's awesome. You know what I'm saying? It's a bonus, but I don't expect that from him. What I expect from Ben Simmons is good defense, facilitating the ball, and you would hope if he's in the open court, he could dunk it. You know what I'm saying? But especially after what happened in Philly, putting any expectations on him, The only expectations I have for him when he went to the Nets is, if he can come together with them to play defense, their defense could be very elite.
Nah, you can get over that. That's dumb.
But he did not do that.
I think there are guys that care about being great, and I think there are guys who basketball
I don't
relatively comes easy to. Like, I just think, you know what I mean? Like, there are dudes that just can play really good, and they don't really try to elevate themselves to be great. I think he's the guy.
Mentality.
I think he's a guy who basketball comes really easy to him. And so if it's easy for him to drive the lane, it really is really easy for him to drive the lane and get a layup. Like he was really good at that. He's really good at that. Like, I give him a lot of credit for that. But I just think, I look at like Ben Simmons and Jaylen Brown. Like, I look at them because I believe they were in the same draft. Like, Jaylen Brown couldn't shoot well when he came in the league. Now he's one of the best shooters in the league. He's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. And like, you either gotta want it, you gotta want it, or you just don't. And there are a lot of guys that don't. And Ben has made a lot of money off his intangibles. He's made a lot of money off potential. And I can't knock him for that, man.
Not at all. Not at all. That man, I should have brought that up earlier to talk about it, but we probably could talk about it next week. Me and my best friends have been talking about Deion Sanders and the possibility of him leaving Jackson State to go to another program. Like, they had a report that came up yesterday that he was in talks with Colorado, and one of those.
If he don't get to a big school, there ain't no point in him leaving.
I agree. I completely agree with that.
I said if he don't get hired by a big school, like a big program, then there's no point in him leaving.
I mean, I disagree. I think what he's doing right now with Jackson State is great. How he's helped the team, bringing more attention to HBCUs.
You think he should stay? Is that what you're saying? Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I think he should stay too. But like, I don't think, what I'm saying is, if you
in the Celebration Bowl. So
that's what I'm saying. If he's not gonna get like a one of the big schools, like a big name school, a big name program, there's no point in him leaving. And like the schools that have been mentioned, they don't. To me, they ain't that.
I don't think that's go for a big name school. I think keep playing with the HBCU.
I agree.
Start bringing more people in and bringing more attention to the schools, HBCU schools, because then that brings in more players.
I agree. You know what I'm saying? To me, what I want more than anything, our ongoing conversation is me and my best friends. Ongoing conversation is about. We all hope he stays, but at the same time, like during the 60 Minutes interview, they asked him like if you were approached by one of these other schools, you know what I'm saying, would you entertain it? And he said, I would be. I have to. You know what I'm saying? I have to entertain it.
Yeah, he got to entertain it, but
yeah. And I understand it from that perspective. But like I was telling my friends earlier today, you recruited Travis Hunter on the strength of saying everybody can go to one of these schools. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can go to one of these PWIs and, you know what I'm saying, and rock out that way. And I couldn't knock you if you did that. But don't you want to be a part of something different? Don't you want to be a trendsetter? Don't you want to change the way, you know what I'm saying, the system works? Don't you want to change the way the HBCUs are looked at on the map? And that inspired Travis enough to come to Jackson State instead of, he was literally a number one recruit, you know what I'm saying, in the country. And that inspired him to go to Jackson State. To me, if Deion leaves too early, you destroy that recruiting tactic altogether because it's already hard enough for us to get top tier HBCU recruits as it is. The NIL can help. You know what I'm saying? The NIL could help get our players. And we definitely need to get to the point where basketball, football, in these sports, we have to get to the point. Like, to me, I've said it for a long time. If you want to really impact equity and equality, if we send our kids to HBCUs exclusively, you can break the wheel in 2 years tops. You know what I'm saying? But look at what just Travis Hunter going there did.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Saban had something to say. Dabo Swinney had something to say. All of them were pissed about that, and that's just one recruit.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
if he
that's hard to do, though.
He can get more players turn coach to start coaching at other schools.
Right, I agree with all that. I agree with all that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry. I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, I thought you was about to say but or however.
I mean, I do have a but you
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, like you have to, like, these kids have to think about it. Like,
I hear you, Edward.
Yeah. Giddy has been okay. Giddy's better. I mean, there are a lot.
Giddy looks like he has talent when I see him.
Giddy OKC, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Josh, listen, man, there are a lot of guys right now who are better than Ben Simmons. And and it's funny because I remember somebody telling me a while back that Ben Simmons was better than Jason Tatum. And I was just like,
what?
Yes.
No. There's never been a point where he's better than Jason Tatum.
Sir, I have had this conversation.
Jason Tatum at Duke was better.
Yes. Scoring, no.
You think he's a better facility? You think Tatum is not a better defender than Ben Simmons is right now?
That's arguable.
Right now, yes.
Right now. Yeah, I'm about to say right now.
But I mean, if you compare their primes, I mean, Tatum's not at his prime. He ain't even in his prime.
But during the time of that conversation a couple years ago,
yeah.
But would you have taken Tatum or would you have taken Ben Simmons? That's the question.
For defense?
No, I'm just saying if you could choose both players at that time,
it's not close, Tatum. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, people are, because the person I was talking to was basically saying, I'm picking Ben Simmons instead of Jason Tatum.
And I was
just because he was so much better of a scorer. Don't get me wrong, they were similarly matched defensive and facilitator. I think Ben Simmons was a little bit better in those two categories. Where let's say 80-85. You know what I'm saying? But scoring, I'm gonna give Ben Simmons a 70, and then Tatum, I'm gonna give him a 90. So I'm gonna take that because he has that much better scoring. I take that because you know what I'm saying. He's equally matching those other two, but far surpassing him in scoring, which is what I need someone to score too, right? So,
and that's before you get the clutch and all those intangibles too.
Hey man, y'all could have had Jaylen Brown, man. Y'all right there for y'all.
Yep, I know.
That's tough. Thank you for that, by the way. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
That's right. I forgot you were from New Hampshire.
I am not from no damn New Hampshire, sir. Don't listen. Don't start. Because you ain't from Philly. You ain't from Philly, sir.
Rhode Island,
sir. You're from North Carolina.
I'm from Durham, actually.
You're from North Carolina, sir.
I'm from Durham.
You're not from Philly. You're not from
Philly. I'm from Durham. Durham is its own thing.
That's his fifth one. He said he's like his wife, his kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's his fifth one. Don't say
I don't care about that. But you think I snap back? I'll snap back. We know you from North Carolina, sir. You are not from Philly anymore. So you better start repping them Hornets.
There's a difference, bro. I'm from Durham.
You better start repping them Hornets. Forget about them. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him.
Oh, I'm about to say.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you, sir.
Shout to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You stick with that. You ain't no Sixers fan. You can't claim them no more.
He's from Philly though.
Nah, you ain't been from Philly in a long time, man.
Anyway,
I
definitely. I mean, we got to see what else happens this week. Of course, that's why I never post the show early because you never know what a pop up that we want to talk about. The case of that young lady. I had to look and see how to pronounce her name. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I wanted to talk. Yeah, I want to talk about that too because I saw some more information come out.
I really wanted to talk about the Kyrie thing with Danny. I really wanted that.
I told y'all set it up. I'm not doing it.
I thought Danny was going to do it, man.
I don't know. I don't care.
I don't know why you're so against like talking about it with him.
I look. I have said what I had to say on that subject. So if we're gonna discuss it again, fine. I'm just saying I'm not setting it up. That's all I'm saying. Like we have the macro conversation. There's a lot in that conversation, and the bigger part of that conversation isn't even about Kyrie. Is a microcosm of the macro conversation.
I do think folks are overboard now. I think we've reached a point where they're almost making Kyrie a sympathetic figure, and I hate that. Like, I do think we're reaching the point where it's like, huh?
Who's doing that?
I feel like the press conference they had like 2 days ago where like he when before his game and all those like people were standing in line for Black Israelites and they were asking him about it. He was like, I didn't even know who these people were. And they just like keep asking him, like they want him to say something. Hold on. It was the opposite of last time.
No.
The opposite. No. Because this time I feel like they were trying to get him to be like, I condemn them and Whereas the last time it was a black reporter who was basically trying to get him to, hey, dude, I don't know if this is what you want to do. Like, I don't think that's what you really want to say. Like, I think you want to explain yourself in that. Whereas this is an instance of him like, dude, I didn't even know this was going on. And now you're trying to get me to, like, you're trying to make me talk about something that I don't know what's going on here.
But not only that, he deflected. He said, we're here to talk about basketball.
But he said that first, though. He was like, yeah, he said that first. He was like,
he did.
Like, I don't even know what
he did. What he should have done.
He answered that exactly the way he should have.
He did what he should have done. That entire situation. What I'm glad to have heard him say when they asked him about whether or not, he said Jaylen Brown specifically spoke up saying he felt like the suspension was handled wrong or wasn't right. And he asked Kyrie, do you plan to take legal action? And Kyrie said, I got a team around me. I'll let them handle that. And I would imagine that something could happen in the future. I'm just going to point back to my original post, but whatever.
Actually, what Jaylen said, he didn't even say what they did was wrong. He just said, y'all keep the same energy for, Nike and all these other companies. That's what Jaylen Brown said. And then now people are getting on Jaylen Brown because
they can go to hell.
Huh?
So they can go to hell if they're getting on him for that.
Well, no. That's not what they're getting on. Well, they're getting on him because they feel like he's defending Kyrie.
Yeah.
And then they also talked about how I'm trying to remember what he said. The same photo of all those people in line, he saw it, and I guess he didn't, because I couldn't see what they saw in their t-shirts. I didn't know who the hell they were. It just said people were there and supported Kyrie. And he said energy. Like, he said energy. And then people were like, wait a minute, dude, those are Black Israelites. Are you saying you support them? And he's like, no, dude, I thought, he was like, my bad. I didn't even see who they were. I thought that they were just a community coming out to support him. And now there are people that think he's supporting anti-Semitism.
That's because people. I'm trying to wait. John Stewart made great comments towards the situation concerning Kyrie.
That was beautiful what he said.
I agree with him very much per usual. But I also think everything that I said in the beginning of this situation, all of it's still true. And I think the more time that passes, the more true it's going to become. And I'm not even going to say I told you so. I'm just going to say per my original post.
So? Who are you saying I told you so to?
The internet. Everyone.
What?
It's on my page. What? It's on my page. You know what I'm saying? We'll see.
Everybody that thought Black Panther was better than Wakanda Forever. He's talking to all of y'all.
Hey, Once I watch Wakanda Forever again, I will make the determination. But I need to see it again before I say which is better. Right now, it's very hard to say that Wakanda Forever is better than Black Panther as a total film. But once I see it again, I'll make the determination. Just like I'm rewatching Woman King now, and that movie's still phenomenal. It was really, 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 really good. But yeah, that Kyrie conversation, like I said, the extra stuff y'all set that up. That's fine.
Well,
remember though, I'm licking shots for that cancel culture conversation.
Remember that though. I didn't say all I said with Kyrie is he should have taken the opportunity to explain himself. And I also said you got to deal with the consequences of your actions. I didn't say that I agreed, and he did. But this is why I'm saying that they're making him a sympathetic figure right now.
Who is making him a sympathetic figure? The media?
Media, yes.
I'll get back to that when we get to that conversation. That conversation, again, I want to make sure it's said again. We're not getting ready to relitigate the Kyrie situation and what was right and what was wrong. We're not doing that when we get back into it. Or I'm not. Let me speak for me. I'm not. When we come back to that conversation, it's about because Kyrie is a micro part of it's very similar to what Jon Stewart was talking about in what he said on the Stephen Colbert show. Kyrie is an example. He's a micro of the bigger conversation that is staring everyone in the face. Just like John said, whether you want to believe it or not, people out there believe these things. And instead of us talking about it directly, we tend to, in America, push things under the rug and not have those conversations, so you can't get to an understanding or a place of understanding. That's the biggest problem in America, and it also goes to the point that I've been making for forever about cancel culture, and I put it in quotes on purpose. Because people don't believe cancel culture is real. If you don't want to believe cancel culture is real, let's just say that there's a phenomenon that's taking place or a behavior that is taking place online that has been going on for quite some time that doesn't need context, doesn't need nuance, doesn't need facts, and doesn't need forgiveness until it's their turn. And that's dangerous for everyone involved. And when the smoke comes, I hope there's some big hoses out here, because to me, people are writing checks that their A's can't cash, as rappers say. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the bottom line of all of it. And like I said on my page, when I was having this conversation presently, in multiple conversations, I see a lot of people that love putting on capes for a myriad of issues. But when it comes your turn, we'll see. I think most of the people that's out here loving caping up are not built for that. They just need attention, or you know what I mean? Like they just want a platform for the moment, or they just want to be seen as the person that loves doing the right thing, or whatever it is. I somewhat agree with Tyler on what he said on his page, I think sometime last week, where he was saying a lot of people are posting on their social media stuff that they don't even believe or agree with. They're just saying it because that's what they're supposed to say. And I will agree with him. I'm not going to say that 100% across the board, but I have seen it. And like I said, the bigger issue is exactly what John was talking about, and it's the exact same thing that I've been talking about. Because another thing John said is, as a comedian, that's another realm that bothers me, that people are even coming for things like that irritates the bejesus out of me. Yes, comedy does not give you the license to say whatever you want and do whatever you want. That's not right. But if you're going to attack comedy as an art form, knowing exactly what John explained, almost every comedian, matter of fact, all of them that I can think of, use some stereotype somewhere of community. That's a part of what makes it comedy, right? If you're going to be offended at even that, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? Why are we breathing? Like everything cannot be offensive to everybody, bro. Like something has to give here. Something has to happen. What's happening in some of these?
I think everything is going to be. I think everything is going to be offensive. It's just a matter of understanding. Like, how like you say, somebody, you can't always respond at a 10, because if you're always responding at a 10, then what's
that's part of my point too. Yes,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I can hear like a white comedian say something about black people and be like, man, that's
not be offended.
No. I could be offended, but I'm just like, I don't need to watch this, and I'll go about my business. Like, I don't feel the need to go online and go crazy and all the other stuff. Like, that's just that dude and at the very most, I'll be like, yeah, man, that joint was whack. You know what I mean? Like, I do agree that there's a bit too much, like, it's like
labeling.
It's just when one person goes, when it's like everybody goes crazy, everybody goes wild, and it becomes like this. And this is what I disagree with, and I said this in the show. It's like, okay, well, Kyrie's an anti-Semite. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all, time out, back it up. He posted that he should provide context. He's not. Let's focus on that instead of just jumping to him being anti-Semite.
But that label, people love labeling things because they don't like to think about them. It's far easier for me to say you're crazy, you're this, you're that, you're all that in between. It's far easier to label something than it is to have the conversation about whatever that thing is. Most people are not interested in conversation nowadays. They are.
Yeah, they just want to say everything is a red flag.
Yes,
and that there's a red flag.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And in a negative sense, since we're talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to help Javon out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you ain't gotta help me out. Morgan, though.
Ain't no Morgan, though. There was nothing.
Morgan, though.
That was a 30.
That's why you went to the football conversation. That's how far you had to go. You had to use that football metaphor.
Okay, listen. So is it a red flag for a challenge or a red flag to be negative?
Wait,
I rest my case. That is my entire point this whole time. That's what, see, everybody that watches the show is going to understand exactly what I was saying, right? And they're going to understand what you're saying too. I'm just telling you, it doesn't have to have a negative connotation with it. All it means is, wait a minute now. That's all it means. It's like literally, I looked up the definition while we were on here to see what does the slang red flag mean. It doesn't have to be negative. I can read it to you. It literally just means, It's almost like deja vu to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was I just watching where they were explaining what deja vu is? It's like a
hey, what was Matrix?
Yeah, but it wasn't that.
There is
asking what deja vu means. They were saying it's your mind telling you to remember something, or it was something.
I mean, obviously, there's a sense of
this. You know,
yeah. There's a sense of folks got to chill out, man, and really that's all it is. So but we also have to understand that like stuff changes, though, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's certain like comedy. I was gonna say that earlier, and you can't keep doing the same comedy that you used to do. Like, unfortunately, like you can't say things out loud or publicly that you used to in the past. Like you just can't.
But if there's
it's just a different world, though.
But if there's any space that has always been a icebreaker for those hard conversations, it's been comedy. And now we're at a point where people don't even want that. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get it twisted. Most of this is because there have been so many marginalized communities that did not have voices before that now have them. Mm-hmm. So now they're getting a chance to state their own case so that people have an understanding for why they feel the way they feel about whatever it is. And I'm saying this across the board for plenty of communities that did not have a voice before. the LGBTQ community. We've made our voice whatever for forever, you know what I'm saying? But like there's pansexuals. I'm trying to think of like obscure communities that now have a national voice, or used to be obscure communities. Women, God knows they've been fighting for forever, but there are different movements within different factions of society that now have a bigger voice than they did before, mostly because of social media. So now they can speak themselves for whatever bothers them about whatever some situation is. The problem, so now that they have those voices, there's an overcorrection, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? You guys have been taking advantage, not you guys, I'm talking about in general. Society's been taking advantage of these marginalized communities for so long, so harshly, that if there's not a huge snapback, it'll never be corrected. So that's a part of this process too. It's like when people were pissed about Me Too and what was happening with it. Were there some men that were innocent getting swept under the rug with that? Without question. There's no question about that at all. And I think women would admit to that too. But at the same time, does it pale in comparison to the amount of women, for the amount of time that women have been ignored under the same circumstances? It can't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And that's why, you know what I'm saying? That's why you need both sides. And that's why what Jon Stewart said makes all the sense in the world. And I agree with him 1,000%. Instead of judging things, instead of labeling people, like he said, even about anti-Semitism, all of that stuff has been there. But if you label everything anti-Semitism, if you label, I've said this before about black people, if we label everything racist, if we label it, you know what I'm saying? If everything is privilege, if you know what I'm saying? If everything that happens negatively, or God knows, when we watched the first Black Panther film and colonizer got blown up to be such a huge word, but then every white person became a colonizer to some people. I literally had to do a show. Like, I had to go live to explain to people that every white person is not a colonizer. Colonizers describe a mindset in a way that somebody goes about their life. That's what makes that person a colonizer. They're not a colonizer because of their skin color. That's the same as saying I'm a gangster because I'm black. You see what I'm saying? When people love putting labels on things so that they don't have to think about it. And that's a part of that bigger conversation that we're going to have, you know, and I don't care whether you guys invite whoever you guys invite on. I'm down to have that conversation.
I told you, for me, the only thing I would say that the biggest question I have for people who are like upset about like what Dave Chappelle said or something like that, and I'll keep the same energy. Did you laugh while watching the Chappelle show? Like, did you laugh at Tyrone? No, some did. If you did, that's good. Then at least you keeping the same energy, and I appreciate it.
I agree with that.
But were you laughing at Tyrone Biggins? Were you laughing at Ashley Larry?
I agree with that 100%.
Were you laughing at any of this stuff? If you were laughing at this stuff, that means you're okay with laughing at, right? Like, you're okay with laughing at our stereotypes,
at our expense.
But you're not cool when the camera's turned around on you. And once again, like, there's a lot of things you could say bad about people, but I feel like the things that are saying bad about this certain group aren't really that bad. Like, it's like, yeah, you're successful. It's like I don't get offended if somebody's like, oh, all black people can play basketball. I'd be like, I mean, I can't, but if you think I can, cool.
I mean, not
like,
really.
That's not an insult. But that's not an insult to me.
No,
that's
it's not.
Like,
it can be.
It could be.
That's why intent and context always matter. Boom. I went again. It's on my page.
What?
I said it. I'm just saying.
What do you win? What do you win?
Context always matters. I told you.
Context doesn't always matter, though. We already talked about this.
Context always matters.
Listen to me. If I came up to you,
thank you, Jess.
And hold on, real talk. If I came up to you, time out. If I come up to you and I insult your son, does it matter the context of why I insulted your son, or are you just going to haul off and hit me?
In that moment when I punch you in your face, squarely in the nose, will it matter? No, but it might matter right afterwards when you're on the ground.
Then it doesn't matter. Then it didn't matter because
it does, because it can give me a better understanding as to why.
Justin, if I insulted your sons right now, does the context of reasoning why I insulted your son matter? Or does the fact that you just I'm gonna get these hands?
No, you did it. So yeah.
My point, context doesn't always
that doesn't mean
matter,
it doesn't matter.
I said it doesn't always matter.
It does, because that doesn't mean it doesn't matter. All that means is that for that specific decision at that specific time, you didn't use context. It doesn't mean it didn't matter.
What?
Yeah, you didn't use context in that specific moment, but it doesn't mean it didn't matter. Would you rather live in a world with context or without?
So is there any context that would have prevented you from putting hands on me for insulting your son?
Yes. Right? Like I could create a scenario that happens.
Yeah. Just your own personal restraint. Besides your own personal restraint.
Besides your own personal restraint, right?
If it depends on what I saw before you said it, right? Like if
are we back in the football red flags right now? We back in that stretch? Is that where we at?
The red flag conversation is like a mid, bro.
Is
like
that where we at? Is there where we at?
No, I'm saying context still matters. If you insulted my son, but I took it as a joke, I might not punch you. Right? Like if it might be a joke to me. It depends on what you said.
But
now
it's not an insult.
If you want to go further, it's not
like an insult because you're not feeling taking it in a negative way.
But he could have meant it as an insult. I just didn't take it as an insult. Now I'll give you an example where it's not going to matter. If you hit my son, there's nothing to do, but I'm just going to kill you. And there's nothing I have to do.
So you agree with me?
So there's no context to that. So your son come up to me, fight me on my leg, get off me, little kid, and you see me do that, you just see me hit your son, then you want to come hit me.
No. See, it now again. So in your scenario, if my son was being annoying, you told him to stop, and then at some point you bopped him in his mouth because he wouldn't stop being annoying, would I get mad? No. He told you to leave him alone. I'm not gonna get mad. This is me. I'm not one of these. I'm not a blind.
No, but you just said if someone hits your son, but I gave you context to why I hit your son.
Yeah, so I would not punch you if my son was messing with you and you told him to stop and he continued to mess with you and then eventually you hit him. I have context for why you hit him. I'm not gonna be mad.
You just turn around and find out that I hit you used to see me hit your son, or he comes back and says that I hit you.
Yes, but okay. So in that example, the context still matters because if I had seen it, then it changes the situation. Because I didn't see it, that's why the situation went the way it went. But the context still matters.
The context matters.
It still matters. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I said, if Javon hit my son, and the only thing I saw was Javon hit my son, just like the scenario you just gave, I'm gonna punch him in the face. But again, like let's say Javon hit my son, like you said, like an example you just gave, because I don't know. Now my son is a special situation because he has cerebral palsy. He ain't gonna be annoying you, you know what I'm saying, by like doing nothing like that. So for me, that's why it's I don't have to ask questions, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to my son. If you hit my daughter, I might have more questions to ask. You know what I'm saying? But if you hit my son, my son couldn't have been bothering you now. So you know what I'm saying?
Like, I use the example. You understand there's a reason why I use that example.
I do understand that. I'm just telling you that the context doesn't matter though. It still matters.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's gonna matter to the cops too when they show up. It's still gonna matter because motive matters, bro. Motive matters, right? And I can't get motive without context. That's what I'm trying to build in the case. So context matters.
I think this is a good place to end it tonight.
I'm gonna I'm telling you, if context matters was not already trademarked, I'm telling you, bro, I would get t-shirts.
There's a reason why it isn't.
It is trademarked. Huh?
You checked?
Yeah, I checked. Trust me, I checked. The moment I thought about it, I checked. It's already trademarked. I said, crap. Otherwise, I would this hoodie right here would have been a Context Matters hoodie. I might wear put it on Lumberjacks' shirt for the next art. Context Matters. Him and Harlem. When we do a crossover, it's gonna be we should name it Context Matters.
Maybe the context matters.
That's even better. The context
should matter.
I will make sure to have them argue in the damn book.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jackson ain't gonna back down at all. So it's not gonna make a difference. It's cool.
All right, man. I gotta go. This is
I'm a big fan. I want to be a part of the project.
Absolutely.
Red flag.
We still in the preliminary scripting of it. I mean, I don't even remember how many pages I got into the script.
Whenever I actually get the pages done for Lumberjacks number 3, which I don't even want to talk about it, but whenever I get that done and I finally ship everything out, I can't wait to get to the new stuff. But I'm stuck on stupid at the moment. So that being said, I definitely am looking forward to that conversation. I'm just telling you that I'm not reaching out to said person.
I got you.
That's all I'm saying. And Jess, I'll let you know. You'll get contest. See what I did there?
I'm throwing a red flag.
I'm throwing a red flag too.
Challenge.
Because it's negative, or you want to challenge it?
Because I want to challenge
it. The reason why you throw the flag is because what happened was negative against you.
I don't know whether it's negative.
I don't know whether why are you throwing the flag. Then why are you throwing the flag?
Because I don't know whether it's negative or not, which is why I challenged it.
Clearly, something happened that you didn't like.
Negative.
What?
It looks negative against my team. Which is why
do you throw a red flag on positive plays?
No,
sir?
You do not.
All right then.
Not in your favor.
Not in the history of the NFL as a coach. Thrown a flag because they scored a touchdown. Now in the history of the NFL, has a coach thrown a flag
right
because when they already scored a touchdown.
To be sure.
Yeah, but that's not.
Are we sure?
That's because it worked in your favor.
Right.
So
you
it's
challenge
a positive
the play
thing.
So it can work in your favor.
Yes, it's a positive thing.
And which is you having a moment and be like, I don't think that's right.
Bro, you stretch Armstrong tonight, man. You
that's
like
not
you double jointed. Like
it literally is. It makes perfect sense
if you say so.
So here's for both of y'all. You have an initial negative perception, so you challenge it. That's the whole point of the red flag.
Right, you're challenging the negative thing.
Yes. Huh?
It could possibly be negative. It could be something I just recognized.
The initial negative reaction, your initial perception of it is negative. So that's why you challenge it. Because if it was an initial thing was positive for you, you wouldn't really challenge it. If you scored the touchdown, you wouldn't throw a challenge to be sure.
So let me give an example. And then we'll get off. Okay. I'm gonna give a quick example. I dated someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was awesome. I knew how I felt about the person. Nothing with them as a person made me hold myself up like, wait a minute. Nothing with them as a person made me do that. What made me do it was my own, where I was in my life at the time. I was like, I don't know, this might be a rebound. How do I know I don't feel this way? Because I just got out of a relationship. How do I know that? It had nothing to do with her. It had everything to do with my own past experiences. And that's what my red flag was. Wasn't anything negative concerning her, though. You see what I'm saying? Regardless, whatever your red flag is, whatever it is, whatever is making you second guess it or second think it is based on your prior experience.
So you have an initial negative reaction to it.
Something
and that good thing was probably, I won't say self-sabotage, that's a whole nother joint, but that good thing was probably, you know what I'm saying, a bad reaction to, like, too good to be true. I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if this is right.
But that would be based on me.
So let's not deep dive. We already on for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
You're right. Right. You're right.
You see, I just stopped, right? I'm just like he stretch Armstrong. I'm gonna let him stretch.
It's not.
You stretch.
Whatever.
This is the biggest stretch you've ever done in the history of the show. Like hands down.
I've stretched farther, and it still makes sense.
This was, dude. I have never heard somebody try to put a positive spin on the red flag.
It literally, bro. I'm looking at it. It literally. Hold on, y'all can't read it. The term red flag could mean either a literal flag used for signaling as a metaphor, a sign of a particular problem requiring attention. That's what it means.
If there's a problem, there's usually a negative response to it, right?
Could be.
Usually. I didn't say always. Usually.
Well, I mean, yeah. But sometimes red flags are magenta.
Stretching like you yawning, man. That's how you know you're tired. You tired. You're stretching.
Sometimes red flags are actually pink.
All right.
The future.
I'll see y'all. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. And we'll catch you next Tuesday.
No struggle meals for Thanksgiving.
No struggle meals. You know, don't reach too far for the food. You might get a red flag thrown at you.
Make sure that flag is red, not pink.
Peace out. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Love your brothers.
Peace out, y'all.